which is this. And I'm going to put it on Twitter. I want to get Wiz1 in on this too. All right, everyone. Welcome to the 7th HabitRPG meeting.
Wait, it says, I'm on the URL and it says, please stand by starting soon.
That's fine.
Probably takes a little bit of time to go through the...
So we have new features, everyone. What does everyone think?
I think they're awesome. I've been on in for like a week or so, and so I'm filling in my old tasks and stuff. I went to my the new inventory and like profile screen. It's crazy.
The big one, I think.
Stats.
The biggest one that affected me is it's not a proper death mechanic. We're still going to do like Phoenix Quest and all that stuff, but currently you only lose one item, all GP, and one level, which previously you lost everything blank slate. And
yeah.
I found Stan said something that I realized was true. He said that means it's not that it makes him mad. It gives him a free day, a free pass to slack off until he gets his first armor piece, basically. So like the next 4 days, you're not going to do anything. And I realized I was doing that all the time. Yeah. So anyway, we have a new death mechanic. It's a lot more gentle, and there's a description of what's happening. And I think that I've actually started playing. A tavern with chat, and you can rest in the inn. You will not incur HP loss while you're in the inn. We have a stable with pets that are unlockable. I think this was available as of the last one. Party has chat. Profile has stats. We have a ton of achievements. Basically, everybody here should have the achievement badge. If you don't already, then hit me up.
What? I have a custom badge?
Yeah. If you chat in the tavern and people hover over you, they'll see that you are the designer.
That's so sick.
And this segues into one of the main topics, one big topic. We're super buggy. We're the most buggy freaking thing in the world. One thing I'm going to put out there is if you contribute to HabitRPG, you get a contributor badge. We're also going to add contributor gear, which is the ice gear that Shane designed. Not ice, crystal gear set that Shane designed as an alternative backer gear set originally. We ended up giving the backers the dark, like the demon skin stuff, so they're like the Dark Lords. And if you're a contributor, you get the crystal gear set. Let me see if I can pull up.
Oh, where is that? Oh, the market art is amazing, by the way. The merchant, Alex.
Good, Alexander the merchant.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we have most of the NPCs are in now. I think all of the NPCs are designed. I just have to put them in now. That's on me. Shane did everything.
Sweet.
Hold on, I'm trying to find the this. I want to show this off to everybody who may be watching this.
Wow.
5 viewers. Okay, here's the crystal set. Anybody who is a contributor is going to get this gear set. Some tokens. The amount of tokens being predicated on the type of contribution you give. The highest contribution value being fixing a bug, because we need that the most. And you'll get the contributor badge. If you want to feel this machine. Yes, let's do that, because I'm going to hit alt. I'm going to hit option all the time otherwise. Okay, guys. we go. Right. All right. So contributor gear. It's not implemented yet. Backer gear is implemented. Which is there a way to turn that freaking thing off? Anyway. Okay, so I'm going to show you backer gear. There we go. Can you guys, wait. Anyway, we have the backer gear. This is awkward. Okay, what's the next thing on the agenda? Mobile. So we want to get everybody. We'll wait for you. By the way, sure you got the question right. I got this. What's that? You didn't get the invite?
No.
Nope.
How did you find this link?
I just rejoined the old one, and it worked by magic, so...
Interesting.
Stan's making faces behind you.
Okay, I'm going to re-invite HabitRPG and just see if that works. I am so sorry, everyone. That's not working.
Maybe it's because they were going, but maybe it's still the same one somehow.
Let's try again. Get Zach in. Let's
Talk over the commotion.
Okay. Everything sucks. Philip, all right. Okay. The next topic is well, so we were talking about so yeah, we haven't talked about mobile publicly. So the current state of mobile. Actually, Lightenel, what's the current state of mobile?
I can show you around the application if you want, guys.
Let's do it. Let's have a demo.
Okay. So, this is the current state of our mobile application. The slider menu is about 90% done. You can switch views, habits, dailies, to-dos, rewards, and it actually works. It syncs with the website. If you check dailies, there is a notification at the top that it's not finalized, but I just did it to get the functionality done. And what else? The stats are working. Everything is synced with the server, and I'm gonna do the whole interface in about a week. The interface that Josef did for us on the Trello board. And that's about it.
Hello?
Hello. Stay this time. Maybe.
Well, actually, I think her internet connection is having a little bit difficulties. show us Joseph's, or I mean, Joseph's designs. Yeah.
Oh yeah, sure. Surely.
There we go. Okay. I found the hangout with everybody else in it.
Sorry. Well,
That's all right.
are we missing anyone?
Well, Leslie's, yeah, sir.
Okay.
Just 1 second, let me open the screenshots. No. Yes. Menu.
Yeah, I'm the broadcaster. I have to click on whoever's talking. I forgot I have to do that.
Hello.
Hey, Yasser.
Okay.
Guys, I can't find the login screen. 1 second, let me open the Photoshop file. Where is it? Here. Oh, I have it already. Just 1 more second. No. Okay, so this is the actual slider menu that he did for us. It has a lot more functionalities than there will be in version 1, but the concept is clear, and I kind of like it.
Yeah, so that's like in the Facebook app. That's the side.
Yes.
Nice.
Slide menu. Okay, let me show you the login screen. 1 second. If Photoshop will open. Okay. This is the actual. There will be also a Facebook login button down there, but this is actually it, and I think it's beautiful. He did a what else? These are the stats, just like on the website. And I don't know, Tyler, is there anything else that we should show? Are you there, Tyler?
Yes. Sorry. What was the question?
Is there anything else that we should show?
No, that was really cool. It looks like it's going really well, dude.
What about the pages for the editing and the editing of the tasks?
What do you think? What do you think, Leno? Oh, did we lose him?
Oh, he's gone. Well, the important thing is that's how it looks at the moment. We are moving more of our developers onto mobile to try and get this out sooner for you guys out there in Habit land. So aiming, have we got a sort of date for the version 1, Lionel?
I think it will be done in about a month. We should be ready.
Cool. Maybe faster than you guys, but we'll see. We've just had, obviously, as Habit has been going, a lot of new features though, with the tavern and tags and all those sorts of things. So we are moving forward, and we know you guys are all pining your hearts out for mobile. And we are working on it, just to let you guys know. What's next? We talk about.
Yeah. I guess the demographic study. Okay, so we were talking about the client, which probably shouldn't be named on the air, but earlier, and because every time I try to. So in order to the main features that we need for that we're going to be building, they're part of the Kickstarter promise. I'm going to share my screen right now. If we look at the, and actually, this will show how far along we've actually come. Parties, pets, avatar customization, better armor customization. Everything okay, right? Done. Website bug fixes is never done. Undo is done. Custom time zones was never a thing. It was actually day start. Tags and categories is essentially done. Due dates is done. This is the primary ongoing issue. Mounts is currently being a big new thing that when we can get Leslie back in the conversation, she'll have a lot to speak to. Integration with some primary services. Luckily for the Chrome extension integrates with Google Tasks, Workflowy,
Tomato.es,
Tomato.es, etc.
Tomatoes.
Tomatoes, Sam. And awards and badges is done. Profiles is essentially done. I kind of want to add the actual upload image. Tags is done. Translations we'll talk about in a minute. Priority multiplier done. Task icons is not done. That's something we'll do in the future. These two, okay, cross-profile challenges and general. So we have cross-profile challenges here and community challenges, which is a description of the quests bit, which is on the Kickstarter page, but quests is actually going to be diverted into its own separate thing. Is as a primary feature for one, the Kickstarter, and two, the manager accounts. So let me show you guys. Can everybody see my? Does it mute me every time I hold the command key?
Yeah, every time you press it, you should wait like 3 seconds before talking.
Okay. Let me just.
Your command just bleeped you.
And there's no setting to change it either. I just checked.
Such a commonly pressed key. Why would they do that?
I know.
I think it's Command D is the mute, but I guess it got broken somehow.
Okay.
Yeah, every time you hold the option, just.
I'm like, everything I do is command. Okay, so here we go. So here's my little avatar. I'm going to log in. You guys can see all my habits. Mine are really incriminating. Like,
Oh, tell me about it, man. Tell me about it.
yours are incriminating too.
Yeah.
By the way, this is actually my real account. So these are all my party members. There's Alex Pandoro. Look, he's going to kill
Level 20, dang.
Level 20. Look at this is Bailey right here. Bailey Allen, level 38 with all of her backer gear. So
How do you switch gear? Is that in there?
what's that?
Is switching gear a thing, or
Currently this is the this is set as the max gear set above gold.
Oh, okay, I see.
Voted mechanic, but there was it was like I think it was like maybe it was like 10 votes for max gear set, and then like 6 votes for just swappable gear.
Mm-hmm.
So we may revisit that in the future, but currently.
Okay, so I got to keep buying the gear, even though I like the leather, but I will keep buying up next level gear.
That's right. Look at you. You're a backer, man. You've got gear.
Yeah.
So these are all the people. So here's the new setup. So here's how challenges are going to work. So pay close attention because I'm going to want a lot of feedback because this may or may not be kind of the final solution, but this is how Stan and I have hashed this out as the best solution to appease multiple
Future implementations.
So currently in Trello, God, I hit Alt Command, sorry. In Trello, there's cross-profile challenges, community challenges, quests, and then there's the over here in the manager premium accounts, we have manager accounts. Okay, is there a way to do it with the mouse? Let's see. If I do this, I'm trying to like avoid command at all possible. Here we go. We'll do that. Current. Yes. Leslie, please.
Fingers crossed.
So the way we've thought of how to come up with a generalized solution is you create a challenge. Okay, instead of so there's cross-profile challenges, there's community challenges, there's just challenges. Now they're categorized by party, guild, and public. So this would be the public section would be community challenges. Once we add guilds, there will be challenges that are simply within the guild. But the primary setup is going to be within the party. Okay, you go to create challenge. You all seeing this okay?
Yeah, it's
Right.
smooth.
Now you come here to the create challenge. You say, we'll call this. So for the daily, it will be 1 hour of gym. To-dos will be sign up for the beach competition. Reward will be when you rewards, like you could reward yourself for an apple, and then habit will be now. What we're going to do is we're going to have this assigning. You assign it to a specific category. So Stan's a very good example. He and Shona have this. They give each other tasks. So like if Shona gave him go pick up the groceries, right? It would be one to do. So it would be party, and then over here it would be all party, and all new subscribers of the party would get these challenges, and everybody will have public visibility on stats and who did what. Or you could say individual members, and only the people involved would see the information and would get the assignments. So if I want to assign this to Zach McKenna, I click save, right? And then in the challenges in the party section over here, you can click subscribe. And so you notice I have take the stairs to the elevator, 1 hour gym, sign up for beach body competition, etc. When I go over here, these are now in my task lists. And there's this megaphone icon, which shows you that it's linked to a challenge.
That's so cool.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That's amazing.
So the primary purpose of this is, so we want people to, okay, so a lot of people have asked this, so what about templates? What about an opt-in kind of challenge thing? And so this will solve, it will solve cross-profile challenges. Unfortunately, the best way in this case, but which fits the system very easily, and then we wouldn't have to make a lot of changes. If I wanted to assign Zach one task, I say Zach do or die, and I just give him habit, right? ASCF, and I would just give it to Zach. Okay. But it also covers the case of I want to assign it to every individual in the party, I want to assign it to everybody in the party, I want to assign it to a guild, and I want to assign it to everybody in HabitRPG at large. Let's say there's just the template be healthy task. The other thing is guilds. So let's talk about guilds a little bit. The way we're going to make guilds work is currently in the tavern, you have Tavern Talk in LFG, and then over here you have Daniel Johansson, the barkeep, and a list of resources. Okay. We're going to make it so you can create a guild, and essentially it'll be its own tavern section, in a sense, plus challenges. So it's kind of like a larger party. So you join a guild, there will be a guild tab. You can post challenges to the guild, create a challenge, and over here you stay guild, and you select a guild right here, and you click save, okay? And it'll show up in the guild tab. The guild tab will also have guild chat, and the guild leader here will be the avatar icon of the guy who started the guild. The resources section is going to be any public links, like this is the World of Warcraft guild. Here's a public link to the World of Warcraft community site, and here's like video and all that stuff. What we're going to do is, it costs 5, maybe like four gems to start a guild. This will prevent like spam. It'll also create higher quality guilds, but they get the gems to divvy up as bounties to the guild members for specific challenges. So they'll create a challenge, and in the case, the first best example of why this would be handy is the following. The first challenge is going to be HabitRPG contribute. Do anything. Fix a bug, make a translation, make an art design, etc. We'll have an approval workflow setting. You click check. When it's done, I get notified. Tyler gets notified, and if I approve it, you get gems, you get backer gear, and you get an achievement. HabitRPG is going to be the main guild. It's going to be the first and primary guild, and the tavern is this whole thing is simply just going to be the HabitRPG guild front page interface. So it's really cool. It's Stan and I were talking about this the other day. It's like we for X, like it was like almost an algebraic problem. In the end, you could wrap it all into one feature. There's gonna be cross-profile challenges, guilds, community challenges, and manager accounts, and you just wrap it all up into the challenges feature. So anyway.
Can I also say
that's really awesome. It looks really robust too. It's like you said, it looks like a really good way to solve a bunch of those different use cases. I can already think of all sorts of ways to use that. Guild groups and assigning challenges. That looks so cool.
I'd also like to quickly say that ideally, or the plan is to have challenges be dynamic. So, in the case of the do this or die Zach one, Tyler will be able to add at any point. He'll be able to edit the challenge, add more habits to it, or whatever, and essentially keep updating it. So maybe we have a HabitRPG, for example, development challenge that is for everybody, and we just keep adding maybe the issues to this one challenge that is constantly being updated to represent the current focus of the challenge.
So, do you need to set a bounty for these challenges, or are there?
So the one thing was you got to the types of people.
The bounties are specifically for guilds.
Right, the bounties are specifically for guilds. If you want to start a guild, you got to use gems. Types of people that start guilds are leadership type people, and they're willing to make that purchase. They get the gems as bounties if they actually want to give them as a really big reward, as a main prize for types of challenges that they put out to their community. So it gives them like they can create a challenge. It's just any old challenge. It's going to be habits, dailies, and to-dos, and they act in the same way that they normally do. So let's go back to the screen share.
And if you set a reward in a challenge, that's really just like saying you'll have access to this reward if you accept this challenge.
Exactly.
You'll have access to claim it, if you whatever.
It's more of just a template for like a suggestion of things that you could put onto your habit list. But there's also stats, and you also, we may add some like you get extra little bonus points for getting, doing tasks which are within a challenge or something like that. But they're tracked by the community at large. It makes it a little bit more social. You can see at large or in general, how is this challenge doing? Is it going up or is it going down? How many people are subscribed to it? How well are people doing overall and going to the gym, etc. You can see how if you're doing better than your peers on average, kind of thing. It's just like another social. The whole point of Habit is to be social because it's supposed to be an accountability partnership, which is where the chat became very handy. Party chat. I get all the shit in the world for dying every day. So, so that's the guilds.
I exist, but I gotta get into the chat.
So that's all that. And then so the way we're going to do manager accounts when it comes to teachers who want this to implement this in the classroom and they're going to pay for like an upgraded account. What they're going to do is maybe like $5 a head, $10 a head. We're going to figure out a price point, but they get a special approval workflow setting. So when their student checkboxes the to-do that says homework assignment 1, they can specify an approval workflow that says either one of 3 options. Either it's completely free reign, the student, yes, they did their homework assignment. It's they checkbox it plus the teacher approves it, or the manager approves it, or the technical manager, in the case of a tech team, the technical project manager approves it. Or 3, it requires the manager's the student has no power to kind of click checkbox, and the manager decides when the thing went through. So what they're doing when subscribing to a manager account is getting approval workflow and permissioning settings. That's all. Very, very small modification on top of the system that's going to fit into the public domain of HabitRPG, but which is going to be necessary to prevent students, cheating the system, etc., for these manager accounts.
So have you thought about anything like a moderation account to remove spam challenges or stuff like that?
Yep. Actually, so the public challenges that go to, so first off, all challenges that users submit to a guild are going to be approved. The guild can decide between one of 2 options: either they're publicly accessible or the guild approves. HabitRPG, so the public challenges are not going to be public in that they're separated from this guild system. In fact, HabitRPG is going to be the first guild, and that's all that public means. All public challenges go to the HabitRPG guild. So for the first while, we're going to make it an approval setting. So I'm going to approve the challenges. I'm going to approve or decline the challenges that come in, just to make sure that no spam goes through the system. I'll come up with some sort of workflow if I find that it's not working out and there's like too much spam. I have a feeling it's not going to be. I have a feeling it's going to work itself out. If I go for a while and there's no spam, I'll make it just a public open option. Maybe we'll get one of those like as schematic or capture, recapture kind of things in there if it's a public setup. But
hello, can people hear me?
Yes. What?
Oh, okay. Poof. All right. Who knows how long I'll be here, guys. My internet hates us.
Talk to us.
What should I say? Tyler, did you get my email with the mount previews?
No. Oh. Okay, I'm going to screen share. I haven't seen this yet. Everyone's going to see all my private emails. I don't care. I'm going to open it.
Okay. There's a mount spreadsheet, and then there is a hastily put together picture of all of our mounts with a terrible background in the back.
Here we go. And this. So, everyone can see my screen?
Yeah.
Let's get
the Fox mount is so rad.
The Fox mount. The Fox mount is where it's at in the wolf mount. Ah, yeah.
Yeah.
I love the background. I think that's the best part.
Oh, good. You can tell I really
It's been a long time.
slaved over the background.
Talk to us about mounts.
So mounts, right now, actually, as you can see, we are done with all of the base mounts. And so our next step with that is just going to be to put together the recolors, and we've actually already had people volunteering who want the contributor gear. Volunteering and doing recolors. So that is fantastic news for everybody, especially because I've started some work on the recolors for gold, and then just because starting backwards and working down, and for the blue. But I'm going to put those on hold for a little bit while other people are working on the recolors, so that I can work on the class system. But mounts are so close to being finished, guys. We've got all of the we've got the spreadsheet. We just need to adjust some colors. The system has been completely set, and we know exactly how we're going to do mounts, how it's going to be implemented. To recap for those who did not get a chance to
tell us the whole thing.
Watch last time. Mounts. Currently, the pet system, the way it works, as you know, you turn in your homework assignment, you get a random egg drop, or you decide to support us by getting some tokens, and you combine a hatching potion with an egg, and you get some kind of pet, whether it's going to be a desert fox or a red pig. So right now that's going to be your pet, and we're working on hashing out exactly how we want to do the pet interface. But you're going to be able to eventually start getting food as drops. Things like steak, candy, and then you can start feeding them to your pets. Now, certain kinds of pets are going to like some types of food more than other. Your wolf is going to be happier if you feed it steak than if you feed it, say, chocolate. So they're going to start growing. You'll get a message like, for example, Wolfie McFreddy is doing very well. It's becoming very strong, but it could still get a little bigger. It still has some room to grow. And then what's going to end up happening is eventually you'll get a notification, wow, your Wolfie McFreddy is extremely strong. You should try putting a saddle on it. Now, the saddle's going to be a very rare item. Obviously, you can buy it in the shop, and we're thinking maybe like a super rare drop. So it's something kind of exciting if you get it once in a while, because we want mounts to be special. If you put a saddle on this pet, you will actually be able to turn the pet into a mount. And so these are the grown-up versions of the pets, as you see, and you can actually ride on them. And I don't have any graphics, unfortunately, right now to show you how to ride on them, but there have been some previews floating around before. If you check on the Tumblr, you can see a preview of some people sitting, if you look through the pixel thread. And once you've got a mount, you also have an option to have the mount not ride on the mount, so that you can be standing there with your mount looking dramatic and impressive alongside you to show everyone how much work you put into this.
Leslie, do the mounts do anything?
Mounts, not currently, but they will. They're going to be in the same way that pets don't currently do anything, but they will. The hope is to have them also eventually have stats, be able to help you out with things. We're still hashing out the mechanics of that, but one of the main competing theories is that pets and mounts are going to eventually start giving you bonuses to things. Like maybe some will help you with, saving your HP. Maybe some of them will help kind of with modifiers, make you find more drops. So we're still hashing all that out. You can check out some of the discussions that have started happening on the Trello board in particular with ideas, and please chime in.
Fantastic.
Yeah, any other questions about mounts?
The dragon's really cool. These are really cool.
Yeah, we're so close to having it implemented, guys.
You know what's so little backstory for everybody. We're retrofitting the browser quest icon set for the primary for most of the assets. At this point, we've customized them beyond their original intent. So most of them are unrecognizable. But one of the badges that comes from the browser quest set is the cactus badge, which I can't remember in browser quest what it did. It was like you explored the desert or something like that. But we don't have a desert in HabitRPG. So we're going to retrofit that, and we're going to make Road the Cactus. So if you get the cactus mount, because it's really hard to sit on a cactus.
That's impressive. You're risking some major stuff there. You should be lauded for your impressive bravery or stupidity. Either one. No, I don't know. I just think that Shane needs to make that saddle graphic look really thick and secure for us to be able to sell this.
He already made a saddle graphic. I thought I saw something floating on it.
He did make a saddle graphic. He said he wanted to edit it a little more and tweak it before we put it in the game. But we do have the saddle graphic. It's part of Matt, who's going to be our Beastmaster NPC. Yeah.
Yes. Let's look at some some remaining NPCs, shall we?
Sure.
Sorry, go ahead. I didn't mean to.
I can't actually see anyone's video. It seems to be the price that my computer is paying for allowing me to speak.
Fair enough. I've actually been like doing sprite sheets like to your speech.
Oh, that's wonderful. Yeah, see, Tyler, I can count on you to accompany my dulcet tones with breathtaking visuals.
Leslie is known for being the English major of us.
Tragically, I was not an English major. But I did major in linguistics, so.
Oh, okay.
So, you know, guilty and charged. Similar sort of deal.
So who are the remaining NPCs? We got Matt right here is the Beastmaster. He's going to help with all that pets and mount system. Here we have Ian Melchior, the quest leader. Oh wait, this isn't animated. Here we go. This one. So it's an animated GIF. It's got a little spirit wolf that comes up and chomps, but the highly recognizable.
So awesome!
Exclamation point! And down here we have Justin Bowen, the guide. He helps you figure shit out.
Out of curiosity, can you guys? Sorry, I'm trying to figure this out. Can you guys see my video?
No, we see your icon, which is your cat thing.
Ah, yes. Cat thing will be eventually available for everybody.
Oh yes, you and I got to talk about that.
Once we get around to a token store, you two can have some enormous and hastily done cat ears.
Well, let's chat about that soon offline. I think I can get that in. I remember last time we were rushed because it was like a couple days till April Fool's was when we primarily wanted to get that in.
Yes, we had a beautiful April Fool's joke that was just impossible to do because we were implementing the pet system for the first time. No, that's fine. So we're going to eventually have some token store stuff. I actually have a lot of token store outfits lying around that I just haven't gotten the sprite sheet form, but that are left over from tweaked mage outfits and just, you know, stuff on whims, and I have an entire set of kitty and bunny ears for a potential, you know, like when I thought we could do, like we were doing some sort of springtime thing, which didn't happen. So I need to get all those together into an actual sprite sheet. Oh, speaking of customization, should we show them the new hairstyles that are coming up?
Here we go. Hold on, I'll start talking.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, here we go.
For so long, I've missed all this stuff.
Hold on, 1, 2, 3, start talking.
Okay. So as you can see, I did some work to expand our current customization options. The way it works right now in HabitRPG, I'm sure you all know that you go and you click. You can choose between 4 hair colors, and you can choose whether you want kind of the short, stereotypical boy hair, or if you want a ponytail. And we're going to be changing that so that you have a lot more freedom and a lot more customization. So what's going to happen now, there's also now like a third, that we're going to separate the bangs, or the fringe, I guess some of you say, from the longer hair. So you can actually, and we're also going to separate that from the body type, whether you have broad shoulders or slim shoulders, so you can really customize your character to make it look more like you. There are going to be 3 types of bangs, right? We've got the one that is currently for the ponytail with the kind of looped bangs. We have the jagged straight edge bangs, and then there's also a kind of similar sort of straight bowl cut option. And then you can choose between any of these hair options that you see. I don't know if you pull up I guess you can just show them the different hair options if you've got the thing pulled up.
Yeah, we're looking at the headphones currently.
Yeah, perfect. So, and you can see that there are a large variety of options. Some of these are going to be in the token store for a very cheap price, don't worry. And then others of them are just going to be available. all the hair colors are currently that you see here. We're going to add red hair that you can naturally pick. So those of you who were redheads and were in Habit RPG and just crying every time you look at your avatar because you had to make it into some sort of hulking orc to justify why I didn't have red hair to look just like you, then don't worry. We've heard your pain sort of, and we're going to be introducing red hair.
I didn't realize there wasn't red hair before.
There wasn't red hair. I don't know what's up with that. Or maybe there
Sorry.
was. No, it didn't get I don't know. I don't know. It seemed like a weird oversight. But which makes me wonder if maybe it just didn't get implemented, or who knows.
No,
but I made up some red hair.
Alex implemented the hair system, which was like just a far reach, way beyond anything we had at the time, because you could only be a blonde boy. and we needed just something to roll with, so thank God for Alex.
I know, he's a hero. He's the one who really he's like our veteran pixel thread guy. He's the one who started it all. Someday there are going to be probably like statues erected of him, someone like carves into his avatar. Yeah, so let's see. That's about character customization. Oh, and also I've been getting requests for multiple like T-shirt colors, and yes, we have the multiple T-shirt colors. We have in fact taken the effort to recolor the T-shirts. We've been waiting for all of this stuff to get together to put it in, and so I thought, well, probably we could include that with this new customization thing that's coming up when that happens. I don't know, programmers, you think that sounds feasible?
Well, sorry, on my phone. Myself and Tyler have actually talked a lot about creating custom gear, some of which will be created in a similar way to how pets are developed at the moment. So
yes, it's quests. Conversations. This is going to include Alex as well. So Stan, me, and Alex. Here we go, and Dan as well.
Okay, so although we haven't talked about classes and stuff at the moment, we'll get into that at a later point, I think, in this discussion at some point. But some of the gear you can create will be created through the drop system and through the same method that Leslie's talked about with creating mounts. Is our webcam just come off?
I guess so.
It's down there. Oh, never mind. So there will be, we haven't exactly hashed it out, but there will be drops such as like leather or refined metal and other sort of elemental drops. So you, in the same way that you get a mount by feeding them a certain amount of food, and it's just completely coincidental, I think, that this is worked out the same way. But you will kind of store or start building an item with different attributes by the drops that you place into them. And then when you have, it then leads on to quests, which I'll let Tyler's got a better idea of how that's working.
This came from Alex originally, so Alex, props. So the idea is, currently you get random drops, you get eggs and hatching potions just all across the board. Okay. Stan's saying we also get random drops. It can be leather, gold ingot, etc., which you can use for crafting post gold gear, class-specific gear, or just random other gear, which is going to have special stats. But the most important piece of that crafting endeavor is going to only be dropped on a quest. So, Alex, tell us about quests.
Okay, it's been a while since I thought about quests. So the idea of quests is that you're gonna randomly get some quest or take some quest from the quest master or something like that, and then you will get some quest description. It might be story related or so, just to get some item, and then you will get a list of items you need to collect, just like eggs or like the hatching potions right now, and you can choose to just do the question yourself, so you'll just complete your to-dos and habits and dailies, and then you drop the items, and eventually you go back to the quest giver and you say, like, okay, I have the items, and then you get some promised item, like maybe a gear piece or something else, But the idea is as well that you can share this with your party, and the main bonus is here that if you share it with your party, you should. If you need one piece of leather if you need 10 pieces of leather for one person and you share it with two party members, then for the three of them you only need 20 pieces of leather. So if you play together with your party, you need to collect fewer items to still complete the quest. So it's more fun to play in parties. And yeah, I think that was the general idea we spoke about ages ago.
So, hold on, I'm going to invite Leslie one more time. It's almost exactly the way as you originally envisioned it. I think the only change now is that instead of getting like a primary gear piece, you get actually just a primary piece of the crafting endeavor, something like that. So
yeah,
Alex came up with this idea a long time ago. You collect items, 10 feathers and 7-8 gold ingots, just like you would in World of Warcraft, right? And as a result, you get a prize.
Tyler?
Yep, we can hear you.
Oh, good.
So,
Yeah.
So this was Alex's original quest idea. So this is going to be the primary. It's going to be like the what's the word? The centerpiece, kind of, for the crafting special gear side component of HabitRPG. And we actually have. I don't want to because my command key busts everything. I don't want to show you, but we have a ton of specialized gear sets that we actually have to use. Sorry about that, Alex. It featured on the G+ for a long time. We have the Gladiator, the Ninja. What do we have? Gladiator, Ninja. Does anybody remember Jesse's stuff?
Yeah, I'm curious. So the ninja stuff, you're not referring to the Orangey Fresh stuff that we were thinking of.
Not Orangey Fresh. Jesse.
Yeah. Yeah. Jesse's stuff is amazing. Jesse, if you're watching this, come back to us.
We need you, man. Where did you go?
You were with us so briefly, and it was like this time of great illumination and joy, and then you left, and it's just been all darkness and Shane and Alex and I sort of like hunkering up the mountain alone, whispering, "Do you remember the time?" It was like,
you don't have the unprocessed anymore.
Come back, dude or lady.
I actually was just going to bring up that in the Pixelart thread there is a wealth of resources, which is we can still use so much of that, which might not fit into the whole 10 colors for each pet, but there is a rare pet right now. We might also want to do rare pets again in the future. If so, that there are many other options in the Pixelart thread which simply can be used right now.
Yeah, it's interesting too. Actually, with the rare pet stuff that's going on, there have been some discussions about also what to do with the polar bear. For those of you who don't know, we actually have a polar bear and a polar bear mount. I mean, you saw that probably earlier in the stream with the mount system. And there have been some debates about whether we want it to be like an event-based. Personally, I would like it to be sort of like a prize for a quest. Someone had the idea to make it be like a winter quest or some sort of seasonal event, which I think has a lot of fun potential to have seasonal events in Habit. Good community building thing, especially with the guilds coming up and the quests as well. So there's a lot of cool stuff we have in the thread that we need to find ways to retrofit.
So much material we're going to make use. I feel like at this point we are not for want of assets to use. I'm the bottleneck of the assets now, like implementing the ones we have. So the only thing we're missing is rogues.
I started on them this morning.
Yes! Oh, I'm so excited.
I started on the rogues this morning. What's going to happen is...
We're going to segue into that in a little bit.
Then I'll save it.
Wrap up real quick. Okay.
Teaser,
The last remaining bits, we need a mobile app, obviously. We already talked about that, and we're going to divert a lot of resources. The other remaining bits are checklists, which are almost complete. They actually work if you don't create new tasks, so it's a ref list bug. Don't say shit, Thomas. Don't you say anything. You and WizWat, get out of this room. You guys.
Where's Left.JS?
No, you guys, we're not even talking about that. We'll talk about that at the very end. God damn it. Okay, so quests and custom gear, which we just talked about. I want to reiterate. I think quests is actually going to be one of the most important pieces of HabitRPG of all time, because as far as retention for the individual user, because what's going to happen is, fuck you, Philip. What's going to happen is
Heads down, guys.
Heads down. What's going to happen is I'm playing solo. I'm filling my habits. Okay. Well, it's obvious that HabitRPG works better as an accountability partnership. You're playing with your friends. And the only thing that has incentivized that right now is party chat. And the only other thing that's going to incentivize that in the future is challenges. Challenges. And then quests. And I think quests is the biggest piece of this puzzle, because challenges are like, oh, hey, I got a template I'm going to share with you. What do you think of this? Subscribe to it. We'll keep track of each other. But what quests does is it holds you accountable. Like Alex says, we have to collect 10 feathers. Okay, I have to collect 10 feathers for the quest. Now that you have joined my party, we collectively have to collect 15 feathers. So it's reduced. So there's incentive to be in a party in the first place. It's easier to fulfill the quest. And I want the item, and you want the item. Let's do this together. If I do 10, I'm going to start getting on your back. Why aren't you contributing? I've already done 10. Where's your 5? You know what I mean? I think this is the first real point at which the party system is going to be a real accountability partnership program, like a sports team. You know what I mean? I've been doing my end of the bargain. Where's your end of the bargain?
Yeah, everyone's got to pull their weight.
You got to pull your weight. So,
Tyler, how does that work with drops being random?
Drops being random. We're possibly going to need to come up with a normalized system for people with different length of task lists. We've talked about a lot whether or not we need to normalize things in general in HabitRPG. We're coming up with difficulty modifications. I think if anything needs to be normalized for sure, it seems to me that quests would need to be more normalized.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, if you're going to be contributing with anyone else, basically the more interactive Habit becomes in its mechanisms is where you start running into more and more problems. Because, I mean, nobody cares if you're, when you're doing your own thing, it really doesn't matter. It doesn't affect anyone else. But if with the quest system, I think we'll run into some serious issues. If I've got 400 to-dos and my friend has 3, of course I'm going to be the one getting all the feathers and getting annoyed.
So it's not quests don't always just have to be about the rewards you get as a drop too. It could be like if you complete all, again, this still has the normalization issue, but if you complete all of your tasks for the day, that contributes to the quest, or if you complete X number of tasks, right? So
yeah, but that's also normalization. I mean, at that point, the person who has 3 tasks is going to be lying back, whereas me for my 400, I'm not even sleeping for a week.
Normalization is definitely still an issue, but it doesn't need to be tied in necessarily with the drops and prizes as well. Because that's a whole other layer of complication, right?
That's a good point. It's a good point. Still work to be done, hashing that out.
Yeah. And everybody knows my style. V1 released the broken version, and then we'll fix it. So we'll probably implement it non-normalized initially, and then we'll normalize it. What were you saying, Philip? Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
How many crits are there at the moment? How many criticals?
How many criticals? I think 10. Yeah.
Ask
Kevin.
No.
Oh, by the way, this is Philip. If nobody knows, so we did introductions originally, but Kevin and Philip have joined since then. Philip in my middle, is Mr. Concept. He's the math guy. He did all the algorithms. Philip,
cool.
Yeah, thanks.
He's a genius. And this is Kevin. He did HabitRPG Sync, which goes with HabitRPG To Do Sync. Kevin introduced.
Remember the milk.
Yeah.
And he did nothing else. He did nothing else besides. We're not...
Nothing else.
All right, Kevin, just spill the beans. We gotta jump into class system though, so just say it.
What? Oh, I also did leftnear.js.
Woo! He basically
It's under Lightnell's username on GitHub, though.
What?
No, I'm not screen sharing.
Worthless.
Okay. He made an IRC bot which makes fun of him.
Tyler, what's the nerdiest thing in Stan's apartment right now?
Oh, in this room, nothing.
Nothing in here, but in his room. Well, this is not nerdy, but it's cool, right? Can you guys see that? Okay.
There we go.
Not me. Narrate.
What is it, Stan?
It's like, well, it's a big billboard of old 80s, like Madonna and the Hulk and Prince and stuff that we basically stole from the club around the corner.
That's awesome.
I'll tell you what was nerdy. Briefly tell us what happened last night, Stan.
We had a board game night.
You had what?
With me and my housemates and Tyler here had a board game night because we are super.
Oh.
You mean like BORED?
BOARD.
B39AXD.
Which games did you play?
We played. What did we play? We played I forget the names. I've just got the boxes. We played Betrayal of the House on the Hill, which is
yeah.
House on the Hill, which is a like horror movie, B type horror movie, which is quite fun.
It's like Amnesia.
And what's the spy one called? I can't remember the name. It's really, really popular. It's really, really famous. Resistance.
Resistance. Yeah. Love it.
Resistance is.
These guys are all opening. I think they're doing some.
Why are there loads of?
All right, guys. Who's ready for the whole point of this entire meeting? Leslie just joined. She's like, Leslie, are you ready?
No capture, guys. Tragically, that my internet is a dainty flower.
That's okay. We don't need to do shares, but we're about to embark on the battle, the ultimate battle.
Oh boy, the battle. Okay.
The battle of the band.
The throwdown.
All right. You can't see, but I am cracking my fingers.
All right. I'm snapping my neck. I broke my neck.
Okay.
Shit. I'm out for the count. Okay.
What is happening?
So for those who don't know, wait, what were you saying, Zach?
No, yeah, go explain.
You know what we're going to talk about, right?
No, go on.
I'm in suspense.
Speak, Tyler. Speak.
So for those who don't know, of all the features that have been requested, there have been a lot of features requested, and many have been highly upvoted. In fact, what we're going to do now has been very highly upvoted. It is the class system. Let me see.
Oh, yeah.
Love it.
Here we go. Kickstarter. Yeah, 53 votes, which doesn't seem like a lot, but by comparison, for the majority of Trello cards, it's actually very high. The highest right now is not part of the Kickstarter. Had we known a long time ago, this obviously would have been part of the Kickstarter. Is repeat every N days. We'll do that as soon as we can after this. But for now, we're talking about the class system. The most hotly debated, most contentious card in all of Trello. Everybody's got a different opinion. Half of the people say it shouldn't even exist. Half of the people say I won't play it unless it exists. It is so contentious.
Some people have started using tags to make their own cobbled-together version of the class system.
They're pretending to play the class system. Some people, yeah. So the idea of the class system is this. You can play one of three classes: a warrior, a rogue, or a mage. The most common three classes. Philip has suggested the addition of a fourth class, the cleric, the healer. That would complete the most common four classes in most MMORPGs. Okay, this is at this point becoming an MMORPG. So I think most people agree about what each class should do. If you are a warrior, you have good defense against... What's going on over here? If you have a warrior, you have good defense against hit point loss from incomplete dailies. Okay, you also deal a lot of more damage by completing a task. If you are a rogue, you deal critical hit chance %, so you have a % chance to deal more damage at once to any given it. I'm gonna close this thing.
Close the chat.
If you're a rogue, you have a % chance to deal really high damage to one task. If you're a mage, you actually have an action bar of spells you can cast. Let's say Fireball does a lot of damage to one task. And
wait, can we pause and clarify for people what we mean when we say damage on one task?
Okay. Let's go back to the beginning. When you are currently in HabitRPG, left near Hector is critical. Currently in HabitRPG, if you level up, and I think a lot of people don't know this, you gain strength and defense. And what that does is strength increases the amount of experience and gold you gain from completing a task. Is that correct, Philip? Do you gain gold from strength, or is it just experience?
No, just experience.
Just experience. Okay. Strength increases the amount of experience you gain from completing a task, and defense decreases the amount of HP you lose for not completing a task or completing a negative task, or like a habit. Additionally, when you gain weapons, you get more strength, and when you get armor, you get more defense. So the more you play the game, the less damage you take by getting hurt by dailies or bad habits, and the more damage you deal to habits, getting more experience. Now, of course, your experience bar increases over time, so it all normalizes out in the end. It's not like the game becomes easier. It's kind of, you go along with the game. It just keeps rolling.
This is a big reason we don't increase your hit points as you gain levels.
Exactly that.
It would just get crazy. You'd stop losing.
It just wouldn't do anything.
Yeah.
Now, there is the theory, though, that the better you do, the more relaxed you can be legally. You know what I mean? So.
I've missed checking in for like 3 or 4 days at a time, and then I come back and I'm at half health, but it doesn't bother me. I just do my task.
Because you're at half health, yeah.
Yeah. So like, at a certain point, I do have a degree of laziness.
Yeah. We're sidetracking, though. We should probably.
Yeah. Anyway, continue. So
most people agree on the classes that should exist and what types of functionality they should have in the game. Okay. So a warrior gets strength and defense, protection from HP loss from tasks, increased experience gain from tasks. Okay, a rogue gets critical. Bless you. They're the best. A rogue gets critical damage % chance, so you have like a 3% chance of getting like triple the experience and gold because you're a rogue. Rogues are thieves. For completing a task, a mage has spells that they can cast. So let's say a fireball. You attack a task with a fireball or magic missile, whatever we decide is the most common attack spell in the typical RPG, and you get extra experience and gold. If you can do a debuff such that you cast a debuff on a red task and it doesn't hurt you as much at the end of the day. You can do a buff so that you get for the course of the day you get more experience and gold for completing overall the tasks, and then you can heal yourself. Obviously, heal yourself. Philip was saying let's split those characters out into mage and cleric, so that we have like three spells for mage and 3 spells for cleric. All the damage, all the DPS style spells go to mage, and all the healing and buffing spells go to cleric, etc. We'll talk about that in a minute. In the meantime, the most contentious issue is how are classes determined? Because Alex is fucking laughing.
We're reading the chat, Tyler.
Oh no. Okay. Here we go.
Sorry.
Okay.
So what do you mean the contentious issue? How the classes are? I don't understand. What does that mean?
So basically, you've got the classes. This is great, but how do you become a rogue? How do you become a mage?
Yeah.
A mage. How do you become a mage?
So let's start with Leslie, because I originally said let's do XYZ, and then I said no. Actually, I changed my mind. Let's do ABC. And Leslie said no. Let's do XYZ. Leslie represents.
I think you convinced me though. I
Of what?
think. So I'm more in favor of the physical, mental, personal, miscellaneous.
Okay, so tell us the theory.
Okay, so originally, as Tyler was saying, maybe it makes sense to, assign strength to your gym tasks and defense to go into the doctor or whatever. And then trying to calculate it that way, and then we decided that that would be just really complicated and unbearable. But what if there were 4 different types of ways that you could assign tasks? Okay, you've got physical, mental, personal, and miscellaneous, which could then map on very easily to the could map on very easily to the 4 proposed class types, right? So if you're doing a lot of the ideals, if you're doing a lot of things that you've counted as physical, then you're going to start becoming a warrior. If you're doing a lot of miscellaneous, you've kind of a jack of all trades. Well, then you start becoming a rogue. If you're all about the mental stuff, then you're going to be becoming a mage. And if you're going to be more about personal things, then you're going to be starting to become a healer. You're focusing on yourself. And the nice thing about this is it actually, while kind of being a good encompassing sort of grab bag, it also allows for flexibility, right? So, okay, what about flossing? Well, flossing could be physical, or it could be personal, right? It's a personal growth thing that you want. Probably couldn't argue too much for it being mental. That'd be a little tough. Or you could stick it under miscellaneous because it doesn't seem like a very big task. Maybe you want to have things be miscellaneous, okay? So you can kind of end up going the path that you more or less want. It's a little more flexible because one of the nice things about HabitRPG is we can customize to ourselves. It's one of the nice things that you can really sort of shape your own HabitRPG experience. So this is a way to kind of continue on that vein while still making it easy for people to sort. And then additionally, it should probably be said, for people who have been watching the last half hour with increasing horror, class system is going to be opt-in. You don't have to do class system if you don't want to.
I think that's a really, really good idea. And it could the way that could work is, after your first few levels, we pop something up saying, hey, it seems like you're doing a lot of these things. We're going to recommend, we're going to slot you into the warrior class. If you want to change to something else, focus more on these other things. It's a really organic way of integrating that class system. You can opt in or opt out. That's really cool. That gets my vote for sure.
Yeah, well, so the other thing that's nice about it, too, is it makes it really easy for you to figure out how to... So this, also we've been talking, some people are saying, well, what if we just have a level point? I don't know who was the advocate for this one. Just put one, you just get a point when you get a level and you can put it in whatever. And the problem with that, sorry, I don't know who is, I'm attacking your idea out of turn, but I'm going to say the issue with that is that you then... it doesn't really reflect your development in the same way. Whereas with this class system, if you want to start getting more points in the strength and defense, you've got to actually start going to the gym more. You've got to start going to your doctor checkups. You've got to make that dentist appointment.
Yep. Okay. So let me jump in real quick. So we have there's 4 competing primary theories that I'm aware of for class mechanic development. Okay. In the end of this discussion, we're gonna if I'm missing any, we're gonna add that to the pool. If one has been completely ruled out, we're gonna throw it away, and we're gonna take it to the Drupal polls, and we're gonna make a vote out of it. But there's 2 categories. So there's four primary theories. Leslie just presented one, which most effectively represents the first category, which we're gonna call the focus point. You focus on a type of attribute associated with your tasks, and you automatically become that class. It most effectively represents you as who you are in real life in your RPG world. Okay. The second theory, which is only represented by one theory, which Leslie just talked about, which is Stan's idea, is we're going to call the level point. As you level up, every level you get 1 point. You can assign it to any attribute you want. This is the most RPG-ish. You're actually playing the role, which is the whole point of RPG. Of whatever you want to be. I want to be a rogue, even though in real life I think a lot. I'm a programmer, so all of my things are going to be mental, but I don't necessarily want to be a wizard.
Or personal. If your programs are personal, then you could do that. Or if you consider that all of your work on a computer are going to be miscellaneous based.
Yes. Okay. So that's. So Leslie's and my theory are very similar, actually. So Leslie's is you assign all attributes to a task. And so this is a focus point. If you have the workflowy handy, we have the pros and cons and primary description of each of those things.
Oh, it's in there. Okay, sweet.
Yep. So Leslie's is every task gets every attribute, okay? And let's say upon leveling up, whatever attribute you focused on primarily, that level becomes, you get 1 point in that slot for your character, and whatever your most major, like Zach said, whatever your most major attribute is, you weigh towards you become that class automatically. With a suggestion, if you want to become something else, you're gonna have to focus in a different realm. Okay, so my idea is, and I must preface this with, over the course of many conversations, I have actually been convinced of Stan's idea. I am now a level pointist.
That's not fair. You're living with him right now. You're in his house.
It's true.
He's been converting you behind your back.
It's true. Well, this is based. The idea essentially came up in one conversation. I wasn't
a very, very long conversation.
Anyway,
I was fine too. Okay, so originally I was a focus pointist. Okay, just like Leslie, but my mechanic was a little bit different. You have physical tasks like going to the gym and brushing your teeth. You have mental tasks like programming and reading a book. But what does agility come from? It doesn't come from anything sensical in life, maybe like running, but that's it. So I was saying, why don't we take agility out of the whole task system and make it its own world? You get agility from completing reds, because you're dealing DPS, which rogues do, and doing a full perfect day streak, okay? So agility is its own special breed. It gets its mechanic from the real world, from the gameplay, whereas whereas physical and mental come from the actual task assignments. The major con is it's very inconsistent, and it doesn't, all the tasks are coming from all across the board. The major pro is it's more natural. You don't have to think very hard on what am I going to tag this task with, Agility doesn't. So
that's really good.
Leslie, combat me.
Okay, so I say, well, personally, I think agility, doing it that way, sounds terrible. It sounds really confusing. Yeah, I don't even really fully understand how that's going to work, let alone somebody who's just a new user. So what I said, well, okay, what about all your miscellaneous tasks are agility, because you're very agilely jumping from one sort of task to a different type of task, right? You're milking the cow and then also completing your paper on quantum physics.
Well, that would be dexterity, which we could use for a rogue.
But I mean, well, are we considering dexterity and agility separate things?
We could actually just call it dexterity and agility.
I actually think the whole personal, mental, physical, miscellaneous gets rid of that issue.
It does, because miscellaneous is for the rogue-based thing, which I guess would be agility or dexterity, whatever you want to call it. Yeah. And then personal is going to be like your charisma, wisdom sort of stuff.
I think the real divide here is between, do we want this to be more like an RPG game, or do we want this to better reflect real life? I come down on the side of, HabitRPG is all about forming habits in your real life. I would rather have this system reflect what I use the app for, which is improving my real life. So I really like the personal, mental, physical thing, because it lets me directly influence what I get better at in the real world and in the game world, and they're connected.
Is there not a way of uniting these two theories? Because I can really see the positive side of both of them. But
well, okay, let's talk about uniting mine and Leslie's theories. They're so similar with one minor tweak, so you can't unite those. That's just a tiny mechanic little tweak difference between the two. Uniting Leslie's and Stan's theory is
that's a tough one. Yeah.
Real quick before we go on to Stan's theories, because Stan is the most different of them all. Let's talk about Alex's theory, the job system. Take it away, Alex.
So my idea is that you can pretty much pick any job you want, and not only pick it once, but you can pretty much switch whenever you want. So you start off as a warrior, you level up to level 30, and eventually some quest says, okay, you can unlock the mage system now, or I don't know, it's standardly unlocked, and then you do a quest, or you just go to the job screen and you pick the mage. You start off at level 0 again, and you start leveling again. And these jobs might tie in together. So if I'm a level 30 warrior, I might have some defense bonus already, while leveling up my mage. And if I'm tired of my mage again, I can go back and I can switch back to the warrior. And eventually I can unlock more classes, play them all together. I might just, stick to one class and go all out on that one, or I might go like doing all of them a little bit. And yeah, I think that's, for me, it's the most fun, simply because I can play whatever I want, and I can play a lot. So if I'm really bored with one class, I can start out fresh without losing everything. I can do some side things, and one other big pro is that you can always keep adding on more jobs without, changing the whole system.
That's true.
Okay, but then you have to do it in order, right? So I have to actually become a warrior before I can become a mage? That seems to me frustrating.
No.
Like,
you can just, yeah, okay. I mean, you could just unlock like 3 classes at the beginning of the game, and you can always keep cycling through them, or I don't know, just unlock 2 and at the beginning, and then add a third eventually, or I mean, this idea for me comes from Final Fantasy XI, where you can start out as one of 6 basic classes, and then once you reach a certain level and you can go to a certain area, then you can do the quests to unlock these advanced job systems. So you could start out with these 3 basic jobs, which you can all level then, and then you can eventually, in like 3 or 5 months, once we get around to doing, like, for example, a ninja line of items, then we could add that one without any trouble.
So I'm having a little trouble visualizing this. This seems like an extremely different kind of system. So
yes.
would you be? But you're still one character, yes?
Yeah.
How does this affect the way that you're actually playing with completing your habits, completing your tasks?
Honestly, I haven't thought about that, because I'm not a big fan of the focus point, actually, simply because for me it's really a role-playing game. It ties my character into a real different world where I'm doing something. I'm doing something in the real world to level up my imaginary character, and I want this imaginary character to be something which I define it to be, and I wouldn't really like to start going to the gym now, or I don't know, cycling to work each day just to become a warrior. And I personally feel that I would start cheating and saying, like, yeah, brushing your teeth, this is strong teeth, okay, this is strength. And then, I'm doing weird things just to be able to get points in strength, which I find counterintuitive as well. That's why I say, let's just go full out on whatever you want to be to make the game more fun without restricting it, actually.
That's a good point. I really don't know which one's better. That's a really good point.
Mm-hmm.
I am completely with you, Alex, and yeah, bro. And your idea and my idea stem from the exact same reason.
Yeah.
So again, as I'm already talking, I might as well carry on with mine. My idea comes from it's very, very traditional, not traditional, but like Western as it is at the moment. So Fallout or Skyrim sort of things, like Morrowind and all those sorts of ones. So
I've had an idea when you finish.
Yep.
But finish.
That's right. Okay. So to put it simply, whenever you level up, once you unlock the system, when you level up, you get points, and you put them into
the same thing: strength, agility, intelligence.
Strength, agility, intelligence, whatever. And so each of those stats will have an advantage. So strength will give you physical will give you a inherent kind of health boost or defense boost. So you'll take less damage. What's the other ones? Intelligence will give you more experience. The agility gives you high chance for crits. And was there another one? Or there was just those three?
Well,
and personal which is going to be for healing, or whatever that would be. I guess charisma.
Well, no,
charisma.
So that would maybe still be intelligence. So anyway, so you've got these three stats. There will say three for the moment because this is essentially based on a conversation a couple of days ago. So physical, you put points in physical, you take less damage. You put points in intelligence,
whatever.
Mental, yeah.
or mental,
Semantics.
you get higher in experience for completing tasks.
That was a big difference. So you're recapping everything we already said, but the big difference with Stan's idea is, well, it's kind of separate. Let me carry on. Sorry.
God. So I'm taking control now. And then, so physical, intelligence, and agility, which gives you a higher percentage of crits. And crits, when you complete a task, they give you double gold and experience. So those just work. That's not even based on the class system. That is just stats. So when you unlock the class system, you get to choose a class. Just like Alex said, you get to choose a class. You go, I want to play a warrior because I like warriors. Now, warriors, mages, rogues, and clerics each have one of these. Each are based on a primary stat. So warriors have abilities in the same way that Tyler talked about mages having abilities, and they use the strength stat as their kind of multiplier base stat. So all of their abilities are based off of strength. So they might have a damage your party members' tasks, and they go, oh, you've got 8 strength, so you can help them this much. Whatever. A mage will be based on intelligence, so will a cleric. So their healing spells do better if you put more stuff into intelligence. And so, and again, we were thinking of renaming reroll, so that at any point you can reroll essentially for free, and then you get to pick another class. You get all your points back. You can divvy them up however you want.
Respect.
Benefits compared to kind of dynamically giving you, depending on how you play, or you have to tell each task to be things, is, as Alex said, I will game the system. I'm like, I want to be a warrior. I'm coding all day. I want to play as a warrior. That's what I play in games. I'm just going to say this is strength because that's what I want to represent myself as. Whereas if I was a gym guy, I'd be putting stuff in strength anyway because that's again how I represent. So you get to choose whether to play as yourself or play as your fantasy character. It's also, as Tyler said, it's a lot easier to implement.
That's the biggest reason I'm swayed.
But that really shouldn't
be. I think you guys convinced me.
Okay, so I have a compromise, or I think it's a compromise. So what if we do level pointing, right? So everything that Stan just outlined, simple to implement everything. But for those of us who want to be, so what we'll do is you level up, you get your point, you have 1 point to assign, and then the game tells you which one you focused on more. You don't have to follow it. But just
so what you could do is if you put the point in the one that you focused on in real life, your point is almost worth more.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, sure.
Yeah. So
it's a recommendation. You're not locked into anything, but for those of us who are interested in that, we go. And for those of you who want to be fantasy, just do whatever.
Yeah, and if you want to,
it doesn't even have. Yeah.
Into the leveling system, so you get that feedback loop of like, this is how well you did, this is what you did good. Now we'll recommend you do this, but here's your points to do what you want. That's a really good idea. It's a good idea.
So that way you get all the good of the focus point, which is basically just knowing how you're doing. Yeah. And then if you want to disregard that because hey, this is your game, you want to be a wall-busting orc.
You've earned 1 strength because you've completed all these tasks this level. And you've done this well, you've gone to the gym loads, all that sort of stuff. We're going to put it here. and if you want to change it, you can change it. Yeah, and just almost.
That's really good. That's a really good mix of both ideas for sure.
Okay, it's just a suggestion. It doesn't give you any benefit for. If I focus on strength,
I don't even think it needs a suggestion. The people who want to use it, like me, will use it, and the people who don't want to use it, like Stan, won't use it. And it's But even so, it'll be nice for Stan to know what he got. It'll be like a nice feedback, even though he doesn't want to reflect that feedback in his character.
No, totally, I agree with that.
The aspects of Leslie's idea about the making tasks the personal mental. If you take that whole system, but make it part of the personal stats as opposed to directly tied to the leveling, you get the best of both worlds.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I really like that.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
And from your
so from my perspective,
you can do one or the other.
I can start with Stan's and upgrade it to Leslie's, because Stan's is the easiest of all.
Yeah.
Especially right now. So there's 3 kinks that I, as the programmer, have to consider. These are how am I going to track the amount to which you focused on a focus point for the course of a level? Okay. How am I going to degrade you when you've lost a level? How am I going to deal with people who want to reroll? Let's say you switch classes. If we did the focus point, actually, or if we did the focus point, okay, I've now become a wizard suddenly. How am I going to deal with the gear? Does the item store just swap to wizard gear, and I have the third one and the third one and the second one, just like I did in the warrior world? And how am I going to deal with people who are currently level 20 before the class system gets implemented? With Stan's thing, we just give everybody 20 points. If they're level 20, you get the exact amount of points you get for your level. You degrade, you just lose a point. You don't have to worry about what you focused on. You change class. Well, change class is a whole different story. But as far as changing classes, there's just the reroll, and you get to select.
Much easier to implement. Much easier to just respec.
Easy to implement. That's the reason I got swayed towards Stan's. Is it's just
and people are familiar with that. If you've ever played like a Dungeon Siege or any of the old Elder Scrolls games, then you know exactly how it works. You don't have to learn the system.
Yep.
So I think that's a good way to do it for sure.
But I like the idea of this. There's the Mario. So Kevin said there's the Mario RPG bonus, which is essentially like you get 1 point for what you did and then 1 point to allocate. So it's combined. It's not a hybrid approach. It's a combined approach. It's both at the same time, which just adds the complexity of both for me.
I mean, I really don't think that's necessary. I think as long as people, so we'll start with the level pointing, and then we just add a little extra thing to the system, because a lot of people have been asking for they like feedback things, like they liked the progress charts, they liked especially. Well, can you still hear me?
Yeah, go.
It tells me it muted my mic, which is a dirty lie. My computer's still angry.
Don't hit the command key.
I will not touch the command key. I won't even look at it. Okay. Now I lost my train of thought. Thanks, Google. Oh, yes. So if we start with the level pointing, people like feedback anyway, then we can just add as one of the features is it now tells you what you're going to be clicking on, or even, I mean, I wonder if we can use the same stuff we're doing for tags.
I think that's one of the almost original ideas.
Is there some way to make that be useful for the physical, mental, personal, miscellaneous?
It was one of the original ideas, but it's so simple to just tag to add rather than make it part of the text.
Add its own field. I think that's probably clearer for everyone.
Add a drop down.
Yeah. So you just add that very easily. You can click through that, and then it's like tracking your progress. It's like the same way and it gives you
that's why I really liked your initial system, Leslie, because for the personal feedback element of it. But if it's if it's added on top of the level, the point buy, as I call it, the point buy Stan's leveling system, I think that's really the best of both worlds. Super easy to understand the leveling.
Yeah, and it gives you some guidance, especially for the people who aren't really used to the RPG world and they don't know what's going on. They're like, oh, well, look at this. It tells me that I'm mostly focused on personal, so I guess I'll click personal.
Yeah, it's very friendly. It's very friendly.
It's a simple thing. So
how do we handle reroll?
Reroll, you just don't take it into account. I mean, I really envision this thing as showing up when you get the point at a level.
Yeah,
You know,
it's almost like a different system altogether.
Yeah, it's not going to show up when you're giving us our retrofitted points, right? You know, when you're handing my 22 things, there's no way for you to go back and calculate. So just don't even worry about it.
So every time you level up,
Yeah, just every time you level up, it tells you.
And obviously, people such as yourself who would like to prefer, and I will at some stage prefer to play to that suggestion because I want to be like, what does my character mold into? But if, for example, that character doesn't mold into what I want to be, or I go, okay, I've been a mage or a cleric for ages. I'm going to try. I'm level 25. I want to be a warrior. Reroll, and then it goes. You got 25 points. Put them where you want. Click your class.
Yeah, you know, and that's fine. I think
That's the both. It's all about the feedback loop, which is was the integral piece of yours, and somehow we've done really well with that.
All right, so are we all? Sounds like we're all on the same page.
Yeah, I guess we said that.
Everybody say aye.
I mean, for me, a big problem with the ideas is that you just click reroll, and then you're going to go for cleric. Probably your gear will auto-change then, and then...
Yes, so let's talk about gear. So it's going to be a problem with all of them. It's something we need to figure out.
No, not with my system.
How much is the gear actually going to be tuned to a specific class? Because right now the gear is just strictly how much damage does it do and how much does it protect you.
This is where the custom gear thing I was talking about earlier will come in. So I think at the moment the idea is that essentially you'd switch. So if everyone is a warrior by default in terms of at least visuals, and then if you were to change class, say you change it to a mage, you'd go to, if you're on level 3 warrior gear, you'd move over to level 3 mage gear.
You know, the idea of the auto switching gear really wigs me out. I don't know why.
Yeah, you know, because you like your gear.
Yeah.
I would actually advocate
reselling gear. You could resell the gear for gold and buy new gear. Even if it's just manual instead, you know? Yeah,
maybe it just appears in your rewards box. I'm fine with the rewards box switching. Like, yeah.
Like,
so,
I don't
like
think
the shop level
step away from the character and replacing it. The auto switching.
Yeah, that's
really
going to get people really angry. Anytime you take something away from someone, they get angry. Right?
It can be as simple as just when you respec, say, would you like to switch out your gear for the equivalent wizard gear, yes or no? Even just the choice makes it all okay. But if you just do it, that's a problem.
Is that hard to ask people about that, to implement that?
No, you can just say, hey, you're switching to wizard. Would you like to switch out your sword for a staff? Would you like to switch out your, you know... Or
right now we all have swords, but that's fine. We'll just stick... I'm in favor, personally. I mean, if we're talking about gear, we might as well have the conversation about the armory.
Well, yeah, so, again, what I was just trying to say is earlier when we mentioned kind of the drops and crafting gear, a lot of the things you'll be able to do with that is to create class-specific gear that, for example, might boost your spells if you're a mage. So you might have to get a drop or buy a drop, like an elemental. So maybe you get a fire element, and that, for a mage, if you make a wizard robe out of that, will give them plus defense or plus more experience, or makes an ability, depending on what the abilities are, do more damage.
But like before we get into the custom gear, though, let's just start with the basic gear that we have.
I think the easiest way to avoid any situation where we make people angry or confuse people is just have the ability to, you know, when you buy gear, resell that gear back for gold so you can get the different gear instead.
So my only concern is currently a lot of the draw is you unlock the item store and it's dirt simple. You upgrade, nothing goes into your inventory. There's no such thing as an inventory until you unlock the pet system. And so people who are just like, I want a reward and I want to do my tasks and I want a reward and I want to do my tasks.
Also, it keeps gems and drop-based stuff separate from gold.
So I agree. I personally would like to collect my gear and sell it in the item store. But we want to consolidate with simplicity of the user interface that people are exposed to right off the bat. So what do you
How about the switching idea then? You know, when you switch classes, you just say, would you like to switch out your warrior gear for mage gear? And then if I say no, if I want to be a mage but still have the cool helmet and stuff, then I can have that.
My biggest issue with that is actually nothing for currently. It's not just based on the class system. My issue with that is that we're limiting ourselves for what we want to do for the future with armor. Because you're going to end up having so many options, especially once you implement the token store thing, so you get totally weird, fun custom stuff. I'm not going to want to sell back my actual helmet just so that I can occasionally wear some kitty ears, right? I'm going to want to have multiple things. What about when I get my contrib gear, right? What about the people who have backer gear? What if they want to swap out and, show off the fact that they're a high-level mage, but then also want to show off occasionally the fact that they're a backer? People are going to want to be able to switch back and forth. When you got the custom gear, you worked really hard on this. You're proud of it. But here, hey, you're also proud of the fact that you got to the top level of rogue. You're going to want to be able to switch back and forth. So eventually, I do think we're going to need an armory.
I think absolutely. I think the same way that we have pets, and I all the time switch out between the baby dragon and the fox because I like.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
We're going to have an inventory at some point.
And you'll just like Leslie was talking about the armory. You'll see Bailey, who has backer gear, switches out all of her pieces at any given time throughout the course of the day. So she obviously wants to customize it. So we got to figure out just how to consolidate the simplicity, I think, which actually does draw people in the current reward system, with the armory that you guys are talking about. How to transfer from one to the next.
Yeah, I like the idea of I like the idea of the. Yeah, we can hear you, Leslie. Sorry.
Okay.
I love the idea of the simplicity, and as you say, I think it draws a lot of people in because it's a very low learning curve to begin with. And I, at least from my point of view, an armory is kind of a given as soon as we go into all this custom gear stuff. One way of maybe doing it, so say you go into your armory, and at the top you have your.
Hello?
You just cut out. Yeah.
We died.
You're back. You're back.
You muted us or something. I don't know. So an armory is a given because as soon as we do, even disregarding gold stuff, even if we eventually do drops for gear and stuff like that, it will need to go somewhere anyway. So one way of doing it to keep both might be you go into your armory and at the top you have your helmet, your sword, your shield, and your armor for gold. And so those are always your default things that you can toggle on and off. And underneath that, you have all your custom gear that you've acquired. So you can either toggle on your helmet, your gold helmet, or gold mage hat, or then your custom gear.
Yeah, I like that.
Okay.
I like the you have the basic set, which is always there. You can always go back to the basic set. But then every bit of custom gear or backer gear or things you've bought or things you've crafted take up a separate inventory. So you can always just stick to the basic gear. If you level up, you can switch to the new basic gear, and everything else you have is like a separate inventory layer.
But what does that still do for the switching classes?
When you switch a class, you just get the option to switch your basic gear to the gear of that new class. It doesn't affect any of your other stuff that's in that inventory of crafted things or special stuff.
So you just keep the two completely separate throughout.
Keep the two separate. You always have the basic gear that's tied to your class. You can choose to use it when you switch classes or not. And then you get the custom stuff.
I think that's actually pretty useful because, frankly, I can't imagine that many people are going to be, furious at the thought that they can't go back to their old, level 1 helmet. I mean, frankly, if they are, they'll just toggle back that they don't want. They want to toggle back. They don't want their class system.
Exactly.
For example, I don't when I buy items now on HabitRPG, I don't buy the next level helmets because I like the leather helmet. That's just the basic level that I'm sticking with. If I switch to mage, I would get the equivalent. It would switch me over if I chose to that one, and I could choose to upgrade or not. But that's completely separate from my backer gear, which
here's another alternative, a little bit of a hybrid. What if you don't realize that your inventory is aggregating items? You're currently purchasing items from the reward store on the right bar.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, for your,
So it always ends up in your
it
army.
always ends up in your armory, and you don't realize it's there until you go to your armory, and
Yeah,
then you
right,
realize,
I get it.
while I'm here, I can sell it, or I can just swap it out. When the class system is unlocked,
that you use.
yeah, and when the class system is unlocked, level 5, let's say, level 5 or level, like somewhere between level 5 and 10, suddenly the current rewards system, the reward bar column that's there, suddenly gets 3 tabs, Rogue, Warrior, and Mage, and you can buy any of those. You go to your armory, you can sell all the current gear you've accumulated enough, all the gear that you've accumulated by the time it takes to get to level 10 will be worth enough to buy some sort of worthwhile gear set for your current class system.
I think that's really good because it lets people, as they play the game, unlock more of these features. It's the buying and selling mechanic, I think, is really easy to understand, and there's a lot of ways we can keep it simple by doing the the option to automatically switch. It's just a matter of language. You say, when you switch to Mage from Warrior in level 8, say, would you like to automatically sell your Warrior gear and get the equivalent Mage gear? We can do it for you, or visit the armory and do it yourself. I like that hybrid approach.
Yeah, that seems very easy. And the little tabs, I don't think the tabs in the rewards thing are going to bother anybody because they've already had 7 levels or 6 levels or 5 levels to get used to everything.
Exactly. It's such a great, design approach to adding complexity. You just do it after they've already started playing. They get used to one thing, then you give them the next thing, then you give them the next thing. I think that's a really great way to do it.
Awesome.
Can I actually propose something slightly different?
Of course.
Go ahead.
So the main idea behind my proposal for a class system was actually that you can level up all these things, and I could actually simply do this by re-rolling. The effort of actually leveling up the mage is taken away from me, so I could at any point just decide, okay, today I want to be a mage, but it might be an option to actually have like mannequin, what's the word, mannequins or something like that, which keeps track of your mage gear, of your warrior gear, and of your rogue gear. So I start off from the beginning, and then
So put the tabs to change not in the reward but in the armory. So like you can start collecting a level of mage gear and a level of rogue gear, and then swap out how you feel on it.
Yeah, exactly. And so
maybe so that we can tie that into, like, if you're wearing the gear that fits your particular class, then you get bonuses. And if not, it's just aesthetic.
Like if you want to wear the mage gear but be a warrior, you should be able to do that. I like this a lot.
Yeah, that's a great idea, Alex.
It's almost like a trophy gallery where you get to keep your different outfits of each class and make them different.
Yeah, right? If you want to... so if you want to... You're about to knock off your giant physics test and you want to use your wizard spell, you'll put on the wizard hat to get your whatever advantage and blast it off, and then you just take it off and stick back on your helmet that you love.
Yeah.
That was not what I really meant.
Oh.
So my idea is to have for each job a different little puppet which keeps track of the gear you have for that job. And then if you say, okay, I want to re-roll for a job now, then you default to that gear. So if I have a warrior now, I keep the warrior gear, and if I now re-roll to a mage, I start off from scratch, and on that new puppet I would buy stuff, and then if I switch back I would have exactly the old stuff again. Which does not exclude that I can also take the gear from my warrior and put it onto my mage or whatever I would like. But the idea is if you switch job, you switch like the gear set you're using right now. And so you could collect 3 gear sets, so you don't have to auto-switch, but it's rather like a choice it's something you made. So if you're playing a warrior, then you have this warrior gear, and if you're playing a rogue, then you have your rogue set. But it's something you made, and it's also if you have some class-specific crafting item for your warrior, you can just leave that on your warrior and switch to the rogue, and there you can have your class-specific rogue thing.
I think that's what we were saying, but we said it a different way. I like that idea a lot. That's really good. Having 3 distinct sets that you get to manage. When you get to the level of complexity.
Take something from one and put it on the other. So something like that. If you really want to.
It's like a little save slot. Yeah, that's good.
I think what Leslie was saying is that you could save some of the gear, some of the lower level gear for that class. So you could save like the level 2 mage hat, and if you liked wearing, did you say exactly you only had like the leather helmet because you like the look of the leather helmet? But say you want to put on your highest level mage hat just to do one hit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure.
So this is going to be all Philip Howe, by the way.
Yeah, I'll get on that.
Yeah. Awesome job, Philip. Thanks in advance.
I've already done it.
He just wanted to make sure everybody was in agreement.
Tyler, are you taking notes? That was speedy. we get back to HabitRPG, and he's already implemented the class system.
It's already up there.
All of the rogues and healers are already in there. I'm like, I don't remember.
I got left JS to do it actually.
While we're talking.
I love that. Leftnode.js is just the best thing.
It's the worst thing.
Where do I access this?
It's in the chat. Look in the chat.
I'll access it when my computer won't die suddenly.
Oh man.
Okay.
So Leslie, by the way, speaking of Speedy Gonzalez, Philip Howe, we're teasing Leslie. Totally random, but Leslie will like send me an invoice of like all this. Oh, I made all the mounts. 7 minutes. She's really good at this. Yeah. Is it?
Yeah, I've been picked.
No? Might be this one. No, I'm just muting everybody because somebody's buzzing.
Who's buzzing?
What was I gonna say? Philip, tell us about the cleric.
I see. So when I just thought that it actually fitted better with the idea. What idea did I have? Sort of, if there wasn't just intelligence, there was essentially wisdom as well. I was going back to the classical sort of D&D style. And it's basically what Leslie was saying with her sort of personal style habits and things that you get into this class. Because I think when you sort of outlined the idea of the wizard, he sounded a bit overpowered, and you could obviously you can manage things with a mana bar or a number of actions you can do, but being able to sort of do loads of damage to one task and then also heal your party at the same time. I thought it'd be good to sort of separate those out between sort of two classes, but then again, it is more artwork, as you said.
I'm down for it though, because the reason I'm down for it, as opposed to if you'd suggested something else, like maybe how about Paladin, right, which is all going to be more warrior type thing, I would have pulled all my hair out. But I have all of these leftover rejected mage outfits.
Cool. Yeah.
So that I don't think it's going to take as much time because
who rejected them?
I rejected them.
Okay.
No,
I was sad too because she kept coming out with us with like, oh, here's an example of something I'm working. Here's an example, and then she came out with the mage gear, and I know that I was like 50% of the stuff she made was not in there, and I was like, oh, it was pure gold, just absolute pure gold stuff that she had designed. So I'm glad to see.
But it just didn't work because I wanted the thing that made me pull my hair out with the mage system was that I really wanted the things to be cohesive when you were switching over. So the color palette was just driving me insane, which means I have alternate color versions of almost every single piece of gear. Plus, alternate switching hats and stuff. So I've already started making notes on how to retrofit some of that stuff. Oh, and while we're at it, I may as well tell you, because I started work on the rogues this morning.
Yes.
I looked at what Orange and Fresh had, and I think what I'm going to do is I took his original basic rogue, and I'm going to do some minor edits on that. Not very much. Doesn't require a lot of edits. It's pretty solid. And have that be the level 1, and then he had these really cool ninjas, and that's with a little bit of editing. That's going to be the level 5, and then I've sketched out systems. I sketched out outfits and armor that takes you from his level 1 to his level 5, and I'm going to be playing a little bit around with again the color schemes and the some of the layout stuff and giving you lots of feedback on the pixel thread in upcoming weeks. But that's how that's going to go down. And then healers, my idea for them, first off, there were some people who were there for the headgear. It's going to be based around like circlets. So because we've already got hats, we've already got helmets. We're going to have like ninja face coverings. I'm like, what can I do that's wholly different? And I thought, okay, so it's going to be based like crowns. So you're going to get kind of crown things, and then the sort of bottom of the outfits are going to be kind of mage-like. Split them into pants to differentiate them from the mage robe. And then I do want to have some sort of armor, like slowly building kind of armor-like shoulder pads and some chest covering because, in playing D&D, which is where my game background mostly lies, the clerics actually do wear armor as opposed to the mages. They like charge into battle swinging their morning star. So I'm going a little bit between that. I don't think we should call them clerics because of the religious overtones.
That's probably a good idea.
So that's why healers is probably a better option.
Or blue mage and black mage.
But the problem with that is that they're all different colors.
That's true.
The outfits themselves.
That's true. We'll figure it out.
Otherwise, it'd be easy to do although the main mage ends, like the final mage outfit is black and rainbow, and the healers, I'm planning to have it be white and gold, since I do have a white rainbow gold mage outfit that I tossed out for color reasons.
Nice.
Let's talk about action bars.
I think everyone should have an action bar.
Action
I
bar.
think so too.
One more question.
Spellcasters should have an action bar.
No, you're wrong.
I think everyone, in the style of Dragon Age, or Dungeon Siege, or the Oblivion, Morrowind, Skyrim. I think if the warrior just gets those passive things, but the mage and cleric get actual active skills, that is an imbalance, and everyone should have some sort of skill bar based off their key stat.
I concur.
Definitely.
I have lost the battle.
There you go.
You don't like action bars?
Tyler, have you played D&D 3.5 or like below?
No.
Okay, because the deal with that is that after level 5 or level 6, wizards can do literally everything in the known universe, but fighters still just have to swing their sword. Like they don't get to do anything else.
Freaking the worst.
You know what I'm talking about, right, Nestle? Like,
absolutely. And
it's imbalanced.
Level 4 claimed to fix that, but level 4 had its own problems. So,
Exactly,
but Pathfinder actually is a mod that
I like Pathfinder. Pathfinder is really cool.
That helps out a little bit. But the point is, after a certain point, it stops being fun to be in the same party with a wizard and a sorcerer and a fighter because everyone's dissatisfied. The fighter is feeling annoyed because after a certain point, they don't really even get a chance to do anything before the wizard's blown everybody up.
Yeah, exactly.
And the wizard's also frustrated because they feel overpowered, and it's not fun to lack a challenge. So in a mixed party setting, that can be really problematic. So that is nice to make everyone feel like they're special.
Absolutely.
Avoid things like, I've just healed myself, and then I've also cast a spell to get a lot of extra buffs and everything. What did you do? I didn't die because when I got hit, I was a little stronger, and it didn't take away as many experience. But you don't do anything.
Yeah, everyone should definitely have skills of some type, or actions, or an action bar. Or I think that gets. I'm actually not so sure that an action bar specifically is the way to implement it, just because that adds a lot of clutter. But everyone should have skills they can act upon in some way, as opposed to just passive.
Mm-hmm.
What would those be if you don't have an action bar?
Well, like when you right click on a task or edit the options of a task and apply an ability to it instead of having an actual bar, because it's a lot of UI that's already there. I think it's really confusing.
Sorry. It depends how many skills we have.
If everyone's got 3 skills, I think if it's like everyone's got 3 skills, which is probably where we're going to be in some area.
Yep.
The fact, like having a whole other part of the site or app that is an action bar and a UI for that and icons for that, and it's adds a lot of clutter. I think that adds a lot of complication. Whereas if you right-click on a skill and say, mana burn that skill, or buff that person in the party by right-clicking on them, then that's a lot more intuitive. It's action-based as opposed to taskbar kind of based.
Okay.
Just from an interface point of view, I think everyone should have these skills, though, for sure.
Yeah.
Especially because we need to keep in mind that this system has to be opt-in.
Yeah, first of all, it's opt-in.
At least opt-out, because we do have people who are having, as much as all of us are passionately invested in this, there are people who don't even want it. Who just literally, it's just going to be too confusing for them. So
we've got to keep the accessibility of the Habit RPG as a whole.
Exactly. So for those reasons, I think that the actual user interface of an action bar is a bad idea, even though I think we all, actions are awesome and we should definitely have
I agree. I think changing the user interface is problematic. That's part of what's so nice about the change to have the change that you guys made to have all of your RPG elements in a separate page, in addition to just making it look so much cleaner.
Yeah, for sure. I really liked that. I like that a lot, you guys. The UIs, the whole inventory and personal area stuff is really cool.
It's just like you don't even have to. It's like you don't even have to look at that section if you don't want to.
Yeah.
I think if people want to use Habit RPG as mostly like GTD, getting stuff done, to-do list sort of stuff, they should be able to get on the site, only need to be on it for like 30 seconds to a minute, and just be off. Like they don't need any of that clutter if they don't want it.
For sure, exactly.
I think at the moment we're doing quite good at that. In terms
Wait, so Tyler, are you currently dead?
I die a lot.
So what is when you die, your pet dies too, and you have a little undead pet?
No. What? No. He just loves a skeleton cactus.
She knows me.
He's just been all about the skeleton cactus since day one.
Okay. I like
it. Looks like a Tamagotchi.
Yeah.
Does he have an army too?
Yeah, Leslie.
I was a little sad, frankly, that I lost my. I know it was a bug, but it was just there was something so heartening about opening up my stable and discovering that I had like 5 skeleton cactuses, just like increasing every time I refreshed. It was. I was like, gosh, the class system's early, and I'm a necromancer.
Actually, now that we're just looking at this page here,
yes, let's talk about this.
Whoever's building the sprites.
Pause. What page are we looking at?
We're looking at the stable.
I wish you could see this right now, so you could talk us
We're looking at the stable. I have a request. I have a request for whoever's making the sprite sheets. So currently, the pets are not centered in their boxes, right? We need a version of the sprite sheet where every pet is exactly centered in the box, a separate sprite sheet where they're all centered, so that we use it for the stable so they look like they're all in a nice grid as opposed to being off.
Leslie's talking about building something different, which may mitigate that.
We'd still use this grid, though.
Okay.
Because this grid is a cool feature. I just don't want it to be the main landing page.
For sure. I agree as well. Not the main landing page, but as long as
it's a really useful feature, so it needs to be prominently linked to.
Yeah. I think as long as there's going to be a grid, we're definitely going to need a version of the sprite sheet where all the pets are centered in their boxes and they're little.
Pretty sure that's Shane.
Yeah, Shane.
Okay, well, I'll add it to the GitHub issue. I just noticed it right now, so I'll add it to the GitHub issue and then we'll get that done.
Yeah, no, I'm sure that won't take him too long. Hopefully.
Perfect.
Yeah. So speaking of the stables, this is hard to do when I can't look at anything, but I'm just gonna have to trust Tyler to,
We moved on. We're playing World of Warcraft now.
Damn. I can't tell you how many times that's happened to me in my life. Okay. So with the stables, this grid is really good. The thing that this grid is really good for is progress. Okay? It's really great for showing you what's there for you to do in the future. It helps you set goals. What this is not good for is our eventual implementation of the mount system, and also just if you want to see the pets you already have. You have to kind of search for them, especially when you're just starting out. It's like this kind of nothing but array. It's sort of intimidating. It's a little hard to figure out how to make it your active pet, and you can't. There's no way to really access the pet and then. I just don't like visually the way it looks to have your pets sort of scattered at random as your main landing page. So what I proposed was the first page you land on is going to have Matt on it. Shane's almost done with the NPC. It's going to have Matt the Beastmaster, who will explain how the functionality of the thing works. We'll keep it really simple. You know, a place where your active pet's displayed, the stables light out, and we can have, you know, pages so you can click and then go to the next page of stables. So just stables laid out, so you see all your pets in these little, very even, neat centers.
We're looking at the little MS Paint mock-up in the GitHub.
My greatest work of beauty.
That's perfect. That looks really good. I can get on that.
And then the idea is if you click on one of the little cubbies, as Tyler calls them, you click on a cubby, then it will pull you up to a page where you can see the mount and then edit the name of the mount, because I've been getting some requests.
Oh, nice.
Some requests, not the mount, I guess, yet. The pet, edit the name of the pet, you can see how old it is, and this is where you will get to see how close it is to becoming a mount. It tells you gives you the stats, because eventually we are going to want these to have some sort of stats to help you modify, and so pets do something, because people keep asking about that. And to show you, Ruffy McRouge is super strong, you should try putting a saddle on it.
Yeah.
Right. So and then this makes our transition into the mount system much easier, because what that happens is, I imagine, and you guys can debate this, but I think there's just going to be a separate, one of the toggles is going to be you click on it, and it'll say like mount stables. So you've got pet stables and mount stables that you both access through the stables page, and you just click to toggle like a tab.
Yeah, pets or mount.
Shows you your mounts in the same stable. You click in the same system. You click on the mount. It pulls up the screen with the name, age, and description of stats.
This all looks great. I will get on this, because I think this looks really good, and if the mounts are going to be done soon, then we should have this in place.
Absolutely. So. I think this is a really high priority thing.
Yeah.
So question is, what art assets do we need? What should I should I make the cubbies? I'm just going to make it really basic.
Well, I think to be honest, for now, I think we'll start with just doing it kind of flat, like we have the rest of the UI.
Perfect. So like just a box.
I think drawing out a cubby, yeah, exactly. Drawing out a cubby is a little extreme at this point, anyway.
Perfect.
Think, at some point, we are going to do that, like Legend of Zelda reskin, and that's cubby stuff. But that's so far down the pipe.
That's so far away from us. Perfect. Yeah. Then let's just make it flat. You can just put like a brown box outline around it. That shouldn't be hard, right?
Yeah. Exactly.
So what's the difference with the current layout and what you're proposing besides the background image?
Well, there's that whole top section where you have what your current pet is and where the Beastmaster is.
Yeah,
I think the main thing is that you're not displaying every possible pet by default and intimidating.
So what shows by default?
The pets you currently have.
Pets you currently have, and then also there's just going to be a big button that says, I guess I don't know exactly what we'd put there, but it would say something like "See progress chart," or some sort of like a very obvious button that you click that shows you
the view all, or the view unfound ones. Yeah.
Yeah, or like "See bestiary" or something cool like that.
I see. Gotcha.
And we do also probably want to have a link where you can view all of the pets just to see what they look like.
Yeah, we got to get that link.
Because I've heard people, I've had people literally like go and consult it and be like, I want the white fox. And then after 1 week, they don't have a white fox, and then they buy tokens.
But you know what? I have tokens because I was a backer, it's taking so much restraint for me to not just buy all the ones I want. I'm actually waiting for drops because I want to play the game.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, likewise. Hey, I'm the same way.
Actually,
I bought the ones I wanted, and now I'm playing the game on it.
You know what we need though? Actually, another feature that I'll add to the GitHub. We need a garbage disposal or like a delete inventory item because I was dropped 2 skeleton potions, and there's no reason for me to have a duplicate of that right now. So I want to be able to get rid of it. I want to be able to delete it.
We're thinking about adding just a sellback, like for very low.
I think
gold?
that's dangerous, though.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want to.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to be greedy or anything, but I also want to be able to keep working on this.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is it dangerous because it doesn't reflect anything that you did?
Yeah, it's suddenly when you're starting to really detach. Right now, gold is really directly linked to what you're actually doing, and tokens are linked. That's just the bonus stuff. That's the fun stuff.
Yeah, I like keeping that separation. Absolutely.
Yeah, so I think there have been suggestions that crop up with mixing gold and tokens, and I just think they're all a little problematic.
Yeah, well, definitely, we obviously can't, can you all see my screen? They could just restore at a billion.
I can't just...
Well, we'll definitely never do gold for tokens.
User 9.
When they're not buggy disappearing.
Well, but even then you can do a derby model set.
I know that's hard, it's not as accessible.
It's not accessible, right, but the point being, we're not doing a store in the technical sense, derby racer store restriction lockdown on gold for performance reasons.
Yeah.
Which we probably can't do. So we'll never be. Which means it's very easy to come up with just a Chrome extension to just add 1 billion gold to your account.
I don't think that's the topic we're arguing about. I don't think we're arguing about gold.
No. So we're talking about potential exchange programs.
All right.
So I'm saying we'll never go gold to tokens,
No.
but we could possibly go tokens to gold, or sell back potions for gold or something like that.
Yeah. Also, down the line, there is this high-fly idea of users being able to sell them to other players.
That's also problematic to balance.
Far down the pipe.
Well, the idea would be that you'd get users who would want to level up a character, a pet, or maybe even items up to a mount or a full set of armor or something, and then sell them on this box. Again, it's just a high-fly idea. It's not something we're doing next week.
You know why I don't think it's actually a problem? Because if somebody is going to be dishonest enough with themselves to game the system to sell items for gold, they could just complete tasks and get the gold anyway. So once they're being a cheater, it doesn't even matter. They're just not playing the game. So I don't think it's that big of a deal.
Sure, exactly.
So my thing was they'll be selling them for gems.
Hey, hello?
Hey, did you not hear?
I didn't hear any of that because I tried to. I keep trying to comment on the IPA, and I can't comment on it without it logging me out. It just doesn't want me to.
Oh. Anyway, okay. What I just said was the reason I don't think the selling potions for small amounts of gold is a problem, because if somebody is already dishonest enough with themselves and with the game to game the system in that way,
then they're already gaming the system.
They're already just going to be completing tasks that doesn't spamming them for gold anyway.
That's true. You know what? I didn't even think about that, but now that you've said that, that's a really good point. I don't think that's. Yeah. Okay. Good point.
Yeah. So there's a very distinct divide between gems and gold, and they are like walled gardens compared to each other, and only for the sake of usability. And one they can play with a lot more than the other, such as gold. And if they cheat themselves there, but the tokens are kind of funding the site. But fortunately, the way we've done it so far is that if you play the game, it is drops, so you can get everything out of it. So I think we're doing well.
Yeah, I hope so. We don't ever want to feel like we're gouging people.
I think actually selling the stuff to other people might also have a good effect, that people see what other people are asking for one egg, and so it's also like I think the economy might actually have the effect that the game will balance out itself. So if eggs are going for 100 gold, and you're noticing like I'm only getting 1 gold a day, then probably I'm not tracking it as much as other people. And if I can pretty much buy all the eggs people are providing, then probably I'm getting a bit too much gold.
Tasks, yeah.
So this might be an additional factor where people start averaging out a bit, and at least the honest people will be able to be
And I
more equal.
personally think that anyone who's going to be dishonest with this game is going to stop playing shortly after they start, because there's literally no reason to be in this game unless you're actually looking to.
Here's a random little tidbit about cheating and dishonesty. I have cheated for the first time since I implemented a feature very frequently via the in. What it does, what it previously did was you can just toggle it on at night, wake up in the morning, toggle it off, and you're good. It unchecks all your dailies. It didn't hurt you. It didn't count your stuff. It's not so much that people will cheat because they're cheating themselves and they're trying to get high in the game. It's that it's, in some cases, it is so easy to just not get reap the consequences. So it's not so much that people are trying to game the system, especially since they're playing against themselves. We just want to minimize barriers to cheating themselves as often as possible, so that
that's
they
the point. I think the number of people who are going to be item whoring and like selling and stuff is going to be so low that who would even bother, right?
I think in this case it's one of those things that they're probably not going to game.
They're probably not going to do, yeah.
Yeah, and I also really liked the idea for getting rid of excess potions. I really liked the idea of you pay like 1 token to send an item to a friend.
That'd definitely be cool.
That I don't know who floated that. It was on the GitHub a while ago, but I thought that.
I was just dropped a candy cane, like a candy potion, but I don't really want it. But I know that my friend over there really wants the pink cactus.
Yeah, she's like desperate for it. So
maybe they should pay 2.9% plus 0.30 tokens.
You're scaring me right now.
To send it to a friend. Like PayPal for tokens. I mean gems.
Yeah. When are we going to do that switch over, tokens and gems? Do we need to do that?
On beta at the moment. I don't know whenever it's going to be pushed to life.
The only reason I haven't merged is a little bit of translation stuff. I just want.
You hit the command key, bro. You hit the command key.
Oh, right. Translations?
Yes, tell us.
Oh, I'll be sending out a mail sheet tomorrow for everyone to translate.
Oh, perfect.
We're pretty much implemented. There's some things that we can't do. Oh
God, I have a thing. This is so minor. Please tell me it's easy to fix. Right now, our to-dos, the way it's spelled, I can't help but read it as todos.
Yes. There was a story. There was somebody who put all of their stuff in the todos column because they did, and they were like, "I don't understand how this game's stupid. It's really stupid."
Literally, like the absolute. So I showed this game to my mom this morning. I mean, I've showed it to her before, but she doesn't get it. She was like, "Sienna," like, because she still calls me that. Yeah, she's like, "Why is your room so clean?" I was like, Mom is the thing that I'm trying to explain, right? It's I keep trying to explain it to her, and she doesn't understand.
My mom
what are these creatures? Did you make these creatures? Right. But anyway, so she I showed her how to like get onto the actual site, and the very first thing she said is. I was like, yeah, and these are the to-dos, and she's like, no, they're not. They're the todos, right? Because we're part Mexican, so it's like
everything.
And so it's like the todos, and so she wouldn't focus on any other feature. She would and this is where the habits are. She's like, you've got to get them to change that. That's so confusing.
We'll put in a hyphen. So
starting. We don't even need the hyphen because starting in the next couple days.
Starting tomorrow, I'll be putting out a mail shoot to my list of translators, and as soon as there's a language available, a translation available, any body signing on from that area, or anyone who has their
Header set.
header. So, for example, in Chrome, you can set your language. If you've got your language set to Espanol, and someone's translated HabitRPG, it will just automatically serve it up.
I think we have Bulgarian. We have Bulgarian and Hebrew are actually live on development, right?
Really?
Yeah, to a certain extent, they're. I think all the headers, so like dailies and to-dos and stuff. I think they're all up, and obviously English. Our main.
I do still think for the people who want to play in English but have any Spanish background, it's just capitalize the D. Just add a hyphen.
Just add a hyphen, capital D. They're easy to do.
All right, here we go. Here we go. You guys want to see
No,
that?
don't do it there.
Live edit, yeah.
Oh, sorry. Never mind.
He's breaking the translations already, guys.
Oh man.
Live edit. We'll do it live. No, that was pretty cool though. Like Stan was all, "Oh yeah, I'll work on translations," and then him and Dan did it together, and then they like, "Hey, check it out." It works.
Yeah. Dan did all the
I was
technical stuff because I haven't been able to get off.
Yeah. I'm so psyched to have the Spanish guys. I keep trying to recommend this site to people I meet, and because I do like a large portion of my pixeling on my daily commute to work.
Oh, huh.
Which is why every so often. What? No, I have a 40-minute bus ride every day. 40 minutes there, 40 minutes back.
That's why we've got so much content then.
Yes.
Yeah, you know. So people will ask me. They'll be like, "What are those things?" And I can say, "Oh, it's a website." And they're like, "Oh, really? Can you explain the website to me?" I'm like, "Well, I can, but you can't use it because you don't speak any English whatsoever."
Is it really that bad?
I think it's definitely a big barrier.
Yeah. No, I mean, speaking as an English teacher, in a foreign country, it's good to localize. Good to localize.
I see.
Well, start tomorrow. We'll start seeing them coming in and give it a couple of weeks. I know all the translators are really eager. I get emails constantly about people wanting to translate, so they should be fairly fast. And we've got lots of Spanish people wanting to do it.
Fantastic.
If there's anything wrong, you can sort it out.
And they'll get all the gear.
They'll all get contributor stuff and the contributor achievement and gear.
Wonderful. Yes, and that's already started motivating people in the Pixel thread, which is fantastic news.
So also, anything you make is pretty much going to be able to be used at some point. It just might not be.
You know, it could be take some time, but you know, we're gonna find a home for stuff.
Yeah,
There's already a shade pig mount. We already have a shade flying boar.
It was really well done as well. It literally.
I know. I'm so happy. Especially because I'm like, man, I've still got all these recolors, but I'm gonna have to try to delegate them to other people because I really want to do class system. I like show up and open the Pixel thread like right before this, and it's like, oh hey, you started recolors. Yes. I need to respond to that, and right after this, I'm gonna post the mount spreadsheet so that people can start recoloring those, and get that used.
About 107 actually.
Yeah, you want to talk about 107? Real quick, Zach. Input fields break. How do I not make them break?
I will show you. I'd have to open it up. Right, I don't know offhand, but because we're using Bootstrap and then all of our CSS is on top of it, it's all kind of a tangled, huge mess. But there are some classes already in place for that are already set up. So if you add that class to an input thing, it'll break it out into a larger box. I don't remember what the class is offhand. I'll have to show you. But really, at a certain point, we really should not use Bootstrap and refactor all of our CSS. That's going to be a big project. I don't want to do that in the middle of big changes coming, but we should do that at some point.
Yeah, I would say
Bootstrap has been like a pain in the ass from day one. It's really hard to overwrite stuff or change stuff. So while it's useful for like a good half of the code we do, for the other half, we have to actively fight against it.
I see.
But yeah, I'll show you what the class. Yes, a lot of mark important. No lie though. It's what we've had to do. I'll show you what the class is.
Okay.
To change it.
Yeah, send it through in the message bar or something.
Yeah, I just got to open up the.
So the only other thing, especially for the pixel artists in the room,
Yes.
107, the pixel artist thread, is becoming unwieldy.
Oh God! Yes.
Like
it is.
literally, my laptop isn't very good. It runs.
Won't load it. It takes it for. I open it up in a different window, and then I like check all my email, and then I go back to it, and it's like still halfway down the page.
107, baby.
107.
So
I was thinking.
I really wanted to split it. Shane wasn't sure it was necessary because of the thing, but I think if it's not just my slow internet being a problem, then
No,
I
it's
think
not
we
the
should.
internet. It's the I think it's just all the rendering on the screen.
You just have to restart your phone.
Yeah, just restart your phone. So there's two options. Either we basically split them into different issues every time we reach this, or we move discussion type stuff that isn't kind of actual issues with the website over to the community site, which also might mean a lot more people will chime in because it's kind of a more public thing, and forums are obviously built from Page Nation and stuff. The downside to that is, especially from Tyler's point of view, you can get tagged in GitHub and you can reply via email and that sort of thing.
That's really nice for me because I do a lot of that at work.
And you can upload images into the actual GitHub.
Yeah, I really like. So I want to keep that for the actual pixel art. Would it be so? What I want to do is split, like, have 3 pixel art threads, and I'll just move all the assets. That's not a.
We do have our Google Docs if people need someone to upload it to, which is obviously.
But this allows people to publicly upload who aren't part of the conversation. So
Yeah, which is nice because especially when you've got all these new contribs happily chiming in.
I say we keep it in GitHub. We just gotta.
So I think we keep it on GitHub, but I absolutely think that we should split it into like, items, pets, mounts, and armor, just to start out. And if we start developing new specific things.
So what about instead mounts and that whole system, and then the class system. And then kind of when we come round to it, kind of the drop gear.
Miscellaneous.
The miscellaneous. So then you're putting it into features, and then you can look up the feature in one. Oh, she's gone. Now she's back.
Hey.
You back? Sorry. So I just said
Someone added Google Effects. Anytime anyone adds like a toolbox, Google Effects.
Everybody, click Leslie really fast.
No.
So why don't we split them into the features that these things are?
Yeah, no, that's what I was saying when I wrote out on my
mounts, and then classes, and then kind of our drop system or miscellaneous.
Yeah, absolutely, and then we can just keep adding in whenever we like have a new system like quest gear or custom gear or whatever it is, and that way, and try to keep it just for pixels. And when people start chiming in with a lot of like mechanic discussion, because that's what really has been slowing a lot of this down, is we get.
Well, I really think maybe some of the mechanic discussions should either stay on Trello or
absolutely
just the discussion stuff.
So I think when people start that, we should just link them to the Trello immediately, as opposed to having the back and forth. And I think doing those 2 things will just make it so much. And for me, it's easier too because I can't tell you the number of times I've had to like hunt through things, and now it's a little better now that I've started just uploading things directly to the Trello. But even so, there are times when I'm like, where's that marshmallow slime again? And then I have to Control F, and then it takes forever. And so I like that idea. As for who's going to do that, do you guys want me to do that, or does someone want to volunteer? Because I'm not going to have a huge amount of downtime this week.
So, I think maybe we'll create the thread just because we'll know what's happening technically, and then you guys can just run with it.
Okay, perfect. So will you transfer over all of the art, or I'll transfer all the art? Probably better if I transfer over the art, huh?
Yeah, you probably know what it's all supposed to be for.
Yeah. Okay. Good idea.
That's right. I'll grab them all anyway, and then.
Yeah, and then link them all from the current.
Yes, yeah, we'll put them all in the top post of the new ones, so everyone knows where it all starts off from.
Yes, and also, well, I mean, yeah. So put the top posts, and then also make sure you link from, especially because we've got a bunch of new people who have started to kind of creep in.
Oh yeah. We'll link them to the original one, and obviously Alex's guide and all those sorts of things.
And from the original one, link through. All right, and I'll make a couple more posts on the original one just to finish some conversations with the new people who want their art.
Cool. Sounds like a plan.
Okay, awesome. I'm so happy that it's not just me. Excellent.
Hating 107.
Dat
Well, hate
107.
Well, I don't get this mage joke. What do I say, mage wrong or what?
No. It's a variant pronunciation as opposed to having. So we say mage.
You say like maze.
You say mage.
You mage. You just fricative it right off into infinity. It's beautiful. But
Mage.
How is it said?
Mage.
well, it's
Harder
said
G.
a variety of ways. There are two variants to do it, and I just yours happened to
I've
be
never, ever heard mage.
Like,
Mage?
What he's
mage is how
doing.
you say it. It's supposed to. Well, the way I say it is like the G is like in Jerry or Gerald, like mage.
Yes, Kevin. I tried to respond, and it kept kicking me off. But yes, that was a correct way to do it with a D, and then the J for your
The Japanese word.
okay, the J, which is we find in English usually in words like measure.
Yeah, measure.
Yeah.
Asia.
That's
Oh,
what I
you
used
say it like
to get
measure.
the symbol on a
Measure.
little on a
Like-
tool online.
General.
Well, he's in England at the moment, so I'm constantly telling him that they're the wrong words. Speak the Queen's English.
There is no wrong in language. There is only variety and brilliance. It's like going into a rainforest and looking at all the butterflies and picking up like a green butterfly and being like, this butterfly is wrong. It's like, no,
There is only frequency and
species of
acceptance.
butterfly. You can't be a wrong butterfly.
Or do you say GIF or GIF, Leslie?
I actually vary it depending on like the people that I'm talking to.
Really?
The time of day, the weather.
It's only GIF. There is only GIF.
There's only GIF. That's what
I think I used to say GIF, and now I say GIF because I heard a lot of people say GIF.
It's a graphics interchange format. It's a GIF.
Clearly GIF.
Graphics interchange.
I used to call it
Yeah.
hard G, and now I say it soft G.
Yeah. So, do we have anything else to discuss? Because it's past midnight and I haven't eaten dinner and I have to get up for work tomorrow.
Oh my god. I think we're at the end of our workflow.
We went 3 hours, guys. We do this every time.
I actually have some questions.
Oh god. I mean, yes.
Leslie, have you actually thought about weapons for the classes?
Yes, I have thought about it, and the conclusion that I came to is right now it's not high priority.
Okay.
So we're still, but eventually, I do well. First, I just want to get all the armor done, and then implement the class system, and then focus on some other stuff. But then, absolutely, because as soon as we implement the class system, people are going to start making suggestions and requests for weapons. And so I figure we'll let that process happen for a while, see what kind of ideas people are chiming in and coming up with, because I know they will have them.
Yeah.
And then after, so I don't want it to be in the first push, just because
The classes will be identified a lot more by the armor and the hats and stuff. Than
Yeah. So, okay. What's the current policy on pets? Are we clearly only moving on with pets as regards to like you get an egg and you get the 10 different versions, or is it also that we can do some fancy rare pets? Or is it
sorry, what I missed it. I got logged out. What happened?
What are we gonna do with pets? Yeah, we will have rare pets. We already have some rare. We have veteran wolf and polar bear. We're waiting.
Yeah. So
we'll
if
make them events, or we'll come up with some sort of.
Yeah, I think the best way to do that is maybe theme them with releases or something, just for the sake of tying them in.
okay, so pets that don't fit this current color scheme are like not
Tyler,
undesired.
stop inviting people.
No.
Stop inviting people. You're kicking me out.
Really?
There's 3 of you at the moment.
And all of them have missed what Alex was trying to say. Alex, try again.
Actually, just discussed like if rare pets are undesired or if they're cool as well, and everyone was like, yeah, bring it on. So if I get creative on some train trip, then I will make some more pets.
They're definitely not undesired.
Okay.
So if stuff happens, then stuff happens. I think it's just
Like how
we have other
of course.
priorities. But
I mean,
like
okay,
it's not a terrible. It's like, oh no, we have so much art.
content. Oh
What are we
no.
gonna do? Look at all these cool pets we have. Damn, that sucks. Like, no, nobody's gonna.
Yeah, I made this rooster. I was like, yeah, let's do a rooster. I'm only gonna do the.
Great. And Shane and I decided that we just talked on the Trello card. We decided it's going to be one of our. But we're gonna try to have, like other levels of pets down the line, and so it's gonna be included in the next level.
Yeah, cool.
After we get all of this mount stuff sorted out. So we're gonna include it. It's just we can't include it right at this exact second.
Yeah, sure. I know.
It's gonna get included because it's awesome.
Cool.
I love the 12 feathers.
Okay, about the tags, Tyler. I said it in the tavern chat, I think. Right now they're and tags, as you also mentioned, and and tags doesn't make any sense because once I click 2, they're always empty.
So is war tags the more common place in applications?
I don't know, but the way that it's implemented right now, it doesn't make sense because if I click domestic or I have like tag 1 and tag 2, it ends them and it doesn't show anything because it can only have 1 and the other one is always false. So currently it simply doesn't work.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense why you would click it and then it wouldn't just switch right over.
Let me show you what I've got. So I've got home, travel, HabitRPG, and health. Can you guys see my screen?
No, but that's fine. I can imagine. I've got a vivid imagination.
Right now, the home thing is untagged. I'm not using that for anything until I go home. I'm using only travel. When I'm working, I do travel and habit. When I'm eating and exercising, I do travel and health. So,
so you actually are tagging them with 2 things.
Yeah, I use and tags. I say we go as the default with the whatever's the most common kind of app implementation style.
You can set your
I can't do that. I cannot tag something with 2 things.
Well, you physically can't.
No. Once I click on something, I switch the tag.
Oh, you gotta like drag, click, or control.
Oh, that's not super. Don't control click whatever you do.
Okay, I need to change that.
It's the same shortcuts as in your file system. So control click adds more.
Ah. Okay.
Yeah, that should be made more obvious because that was not
it is just version 1. I think we're going for checkboxes or.
Well, yeah. Eventually, we're going to do autocomplete. When you hit enter, it does a little highlighted with text.
Use chosen.
Facebook style, but what?
Nice.
Use chosen.js.
Yeah, I've heard of that.
From Dwala or something.
I'll check into that. Chosen.
So.
It's a harvest. Yeah.
I've got like 10 tags or something. And I would like them all, but I guess I'm fine with them at the moment. But
yeah, okay. I just didn't know that. It was very unclear to me, and I guess people are.
It was unclear to me too.
Yeah, okay. And so the last thing I want to ask, so it seems to me that the changing jobs will something be actually part of the game, especially if you make different sets. Would it make sense to also like store the assigned points to one class, so that if I say reroll, I don't need to click 27 times because I'm level 27. I need to assign 27 points again to the cleric or to the warrior.
I would say
just type in.
We should have to redo it only because otherwise, picking a class is just an option as opposed to a play style.
Yeah, classes.
Yeah, no worries. You'd rather have it. Hang on 1 second.
Today I'll do a fireball. I'll be a mage, and tomorrow I'll be a warrior and do that because I'm on lower health, as opposed to I'm playing a mage.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, okay, but then I think
I gotta go, guys.
Zach,
okay.
Thank you so much for hanging out, dude. It's so good to see you.
Fun. I will talk to you soon, Tyler, and we'll sort out where you want me to focus my attention. Probably web for a little bit to sort out bugs and things, and then I'll the mobile to get that done for the Kickstarter.
Guys, hang on 1 second. I need to grab my headphones because my roommates can hear. I have to sit in the living room with my computer plugged into the router, so I need to go grab my headphones really fast.
All right, dude. We'll talk soon. We'll catch up. Show me all your ties and some stuff.
See ya.
All right, see ya.
Bye.
I
just think if changing classes is like undesired, then it wouldn't again make all that much sense to store the actual item setup. Although not losing the items is probably also a nice thing. But yeah, I'm still very fond of my idea of having multiple classes. But
well, it sounds like Stan's idea is a good base of the pyramid from which we can branch out.
Yeah.
Okay.
Are you back with your headphones?
Yeah, I'm back with my headphones. I should probably leave pretty soon anyway, though.
Yeah, I think, well, we hit the end of our workflow document, so
I don't think we've got nothing else.
I just like hanging out with you guys.
Aww.
You're lonely.
Yeah. I missed all of the beginning stuff, unfortunately, just because of internet angst. But Tyler, can you just send me an email to catch up on that, or?
Yep, definitely.
Okay, cool. I want to know about mobile. I want to know about the like finances, teaching, like subscription stuff. Any of that we talked about.
Cool. Yeah, you're gonna love to hear about NHS.
Awesome. Okay, great. I will talk to you guys later.
Okay.
All right.
Ciao.
Bye.
Bye.
Chew.
Hi.
See you, dude.
What? What? No, I was saying bye to her.
Kevin, what's with your webcam being on the other side of the room?
It's over there.
Yeah.
So my monitors are in front of me, and my Mac is over there, and I don't have a separate webcam. That's the light switch.
Ah.
That's,
I don't have it.
Observe its features.
It's a dimmer as well. Oh my god.
European style.
Fancy.
I actually had to replace the fuse in there. I never replaced a fuse like that.
Right.
Thomas, don't go.
Yeah, we're ready to get out. It's just me.
At least.
I had a question.
Yeah.
Go.
Yeah. About the mobile. You said who I will be working with.
Yes. Dan. So okay. So Dan and Lightenal. So Lightenal, Thomas over here is the main mobile guy. Okay. He's just heading that entire project. Dan has been primarily in charge of the API up until now. You and I have been talking a lot about operational transformation API handling for synchronization. So you and Dan are going to get together, talk about.
Okay, great. So let's. Yeah, I would like. You can still hear me?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, it's a little bit fuzzy, but keep talking.
Yes.
You would like to what?
Okay. So I was asking. I think. Yeah, I think everyone should add me, right? On
Cool.
Gtalk, or what? What do you use for main communication?
Most people use IRC. It's Freenode.
Freenode, HabitRPG on IRC is where pretty much all the developers hang out, especially
Alright.
Twix and Lightenal are always there trying. So that'll be where the best place to get your information from and all that sort of stuff.
Okay, great. Yeah, I had the conversation had a lot of details about the logic. I think I need. I haven't played it enough but yeah, I got an idea about what features we are implementing, but I think I missed a lot of details because I'm not aware yet of the most of the features of the game.
Well,
So I think it would be very useful if someone can explain to me in some detail what the algorithms, the details of the algorithms, the level, like the leveling up and these things.
yeah, I'll catch up with you offline. The other guy, every time I type, actually, I think it's just any time I type. The other guy involved is Jan. He goes by Yangit. He is he's joining me. Well, okay, so the main math and algorithms person is Philip Howe in this. But Jan is helping separate that out into standard JS files that can be included via required JS potentially.
Yes, I spoke to him yesterday. No, not yesterday.
Oh, cool.
No, yes, yesterday. Yeah.
I'll
He
catch
also
up.
said he's rewriting the web. The web. I mean, he's rewriting something in Angular.
He was working on the Angular rewrite branch of the website because Derby's so buggy. I'm going to catch up with him offline and divert his attention to mobile because we got to get that done soon.
Tyler, have you considered a time machine to tell yourself in the past that Debbie's too buggy to use?
I know. I need a time machine, and I need to stop being such a flip flop.
Like JS.
I need to stop being left near JS.
That's what you are.
Yeah, what came first, left near JS or left near? I don't even know.
What created what?
Yeah, I'll catch up with you offline, Yasser, and we'll connect the four of you for optimal combinatorial powers. Thomas,
Great.
you haven't said a word. Tell us about things.
Actually, I can't talk because everyone have gone to sleep here, so it's late.
All right, we should all go to sleep. Let's all go to sleep.